Thank you for joining us. How you
Uh,
doing? We're live from the apocalypse. I'm clicking things and we're good to go. Hopefully. Hi. Welcome. If you've not joined us before, we're live from the apocalypse. We play tabletop role-playing games for progressive causes and good organizations. Everything we do on this channel benefits a nonprofit or a charity organization. This stream, in particular, our first Maple League Wildcard Wednesday stream, is benefiting the Surfrider Foundation. Which, if you don't know what the Surfrider Foundation does, they do beach cleanups. They organize legislation drives to get laws passed to help keep the oceans clean and the beach is clean, and they do a lot of great work. We just met our goal last night. We have been working to raise $2,000 for Surfrider Foundation the same way we were raising $2,000 for Planned Parenthood, and both of those goals have now been met. We are currently voting on the organization that we are going to benefit next, and that will be announced with Veil Breakers on Sunday, our 5e game. If you want to come back around for that, we will be benefiting a new organization. But this one benefits the Surfrider Foundation. So we're in the home stretch. We're doing a victory lap. If you like what you see here, you can hit exclamation point surf donate in the chat and send them some money. We just ask that if you like what you see here, you don't give your money to Amazon or Jeff Bezos or us, really. We would rather you give it to an organization that is trying to make a real difference and do some good in the world. That being said, if you want to subscribe, we literally can't stop you, especially if you have an Amazon Prime subscription included with your, I'm sorry, if you have a Prime sub included with your Amazon Prime subscription, feel free to throw that our way if you want to. Just know that every time you do so, Red Mulligan kills a dog. And that's out of our hands. We wish he would stop. He is a menace, but thus far he seems unrepentant. So, add him on Twitter, I guess. Bring up this behavior. Please don't do that.
do it.
With don't please don't mention us. Don't clip that either. Let's just move on. I think that's most of the stuff. Wildcard Wednesday. We have some long form games on our channel. Wildcard Wednesday is a chance for us to run some shorter form games. They're usually about 3 sessions each. This is the second one we have done, and this is Pokemon Tales. With all of that being said, I will let our game master take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marshall, and Pokemon Tales is a system I designed when I was trying to find the right type of Pokemon RPG for what I wanted to experience, and that's what we'll be doing tonight. It's a little different than some other traditional systems. It uses a token-based engine that's known as Belonging Outside Belonging, though I've modified it a bit. So at times we may stop to explain how that's going to impact the session as we go. A big thing about this style of game is that it's very collaborative. So while we've done some region building that will kind of clue you in on and some character building ahead of time, a lot of what you see we'll be putting together as we go based on kind of collective idea building and agreement, which means that at any point, if we're looking for an idea, throw it in the chat. It might help, might give us something to pull from, and we will build it into the game as we go. Since I've mentioned the token thing and Will has mentioned the donation thing, there is also a correlation there. If you donate, I will also make sure all of our players here get an extra token, which can help them out in a trying time. So added benefit besides just contributing to a good cause. Other than that, why don't I give a little bit of a descriptor of the region we'll all be adventuring in, and then we'll go around and meet all of our cast. So our story takes place in a region to the far north. The Kanto region is large, wild, and covered in thick forests made up of incredibly tall trees. Kanto's history has been defined by a few key moments. The first was the discovery of a superfuel harvested from inside Kandoian trees, which led to significant and rapid improvements in Kandoian technology. And despite what you may think, that is definitely not maple syrup. Second, the foundation of the Maple League, a unique to the region take on the Pokemon League focused on the team sport of Picross. Picross combines Pokemon battles with traditional human sports. In it, teams of 3 to 6 Pokemon, directed by trainers, attempt to move a ball across fields of varying terrain to score by knocking it into the opposing team's goal. It's a massive spectator sport. Almost every citizen of the region has a favorite Maple League team. Trainers all over the region prepare each season to challenge as many gym leaders as needed to earn a recommendation from one of those gym leaders so that they can try out for their Maple League team themselves. And the last major event was the disappearance of Gigander. For centuries, Gigander, the legendary goose of chaos, was a constant presence in Kando. It would wander the region, wreaking havoc on a whim. The people of the region did everything possible to avoid attracting its destructive attention, including refusing to build or fly above Kando's large trees. Its counterpart, Kistimus, the legendary beaver of order, would often be found following in its wake, doing its best to undo the destruction Gigander had wrought. However, 100 years ago, Gigander vanished without a trace, and a nervous peace has settled upon Kando. Most folks keep to their traditions, anticipating Gigander's inevitable return, but a few ambitious groups have begun to push forward, building higher and experimenting with flight above the tree line. Without Gigander to clean up after, Customus was left without purpose. It retreated deep into nature and began to build a massive dam, which it worked on over the last 100 years. After finishing the dam, Customus also vanished and has not been seen since. It's at this point where we meet our trainers, headed towards a town surrounded by wilderness, each with their own reasons for leaving their home to explore the region of Kando. And with that, why don't we go around the circle here? Why doesn't everyone introduce who they are, maybe what they do, and then also tell us about your character? And we can start with Kev and Brosing.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Kev, also known as Magical Girl Kev. I make Magical Girl content for D&D 5e, and might be working on a couple other of my own projects. I will be playing Riley Brosy Broder, the hockey himbo with a heart gold, and that was not. He is on his journey to become one of the best trainers in the Maple League, get drafted, and win a ship for the boys.
Perfect. Will, why don't you take it next?
Absolutely. Hello again. My name is Will. I am one of the organizers here at Live from the Apocalypse. Pretty much everything I do is here. So if you want to keep up with any of it, I run a 5e game about high school students who are trapped in a fantasy world. I run the superhero game that we turn into our podcast, Academy H. I also edit that podcast. So if you like podcasts, you can find that on every platform under the name Live from the Apocalypse. It's called Academy H. We also record it live on every other Sunday back on this channel. So, if you catch up, you can hear the next couple episodes ahead of time in their unedited form with all of the things that we remove so that they never reach human ears and don't live on the internet forever. So, yeah, feel free to check that out if you'd like. I do some other stuff. Like I said, all of it's here live from the Apocalypse. So if you're not already following us, go ahead and do that. I am playing Stephen Bedrock, a musician, a punk musician who is taking a little bit of time off from his band's nonstop touring around the Kando region and in other regions because he has recently written a very special song that he thinks could play a pivotal role in the Kando region and its history. So we'll see if we get a chance to bring that back around over the course of these 3 sessions. And I think that's pretty much all I got.
Perfect. Justin, you want to take it next?
Yeah. Hello. My name is. I was about to. I don't know. I'm so used to doing like coffee intros, and they're always chaotic, and this is no different. Hello, my name is Justin Crane. I'm a part of the No Fame podcast. We produce edited, sound designed D&D TTRPG content. Right now, we have a high fantasy tower crawl called Tall Tall Tower, which is a ton of fun. Our DM Sinead tries to kill us every session in this horrific tower of horrors, and it's wonderful. And outside of that, I outside of that, I make dice and stuff, which you can check out at Amherst Dice if you fancy. And I'm playing Cove Island. I'm from old Newfoundland, and I'm just kind of wandering around, having a little bit of a look. Right, we're out just on a little bit of a trot, and I ran into a few fellas that seemed to know what's going on with all these Pokemon around. Right, and I've only got 2 of them, and I don't know what to be at with them at all. Not a clue. Uh, Cove, it looks like an old fisherman in yellow rain jacket and a yellow rain hat and a big old graying beard. And yeah, that's and I'm sure we'll get more into everything that we've got going. But yeah, that's me and Cove.
Perfect.
I'm so fascinated to see if the captions are going to be able to keep up with Cove.
We'll find out.
Zach, can you bring us home?
Yeah, I can. Hey, everybody. My name is Zach Walsh. I run a podcast called Schedule for Launch, where you can come and find some new indie creators. And we focus a lot on tabletop role playing games. I've spoken to Marshall myself about Pokemon Tales on that very show if you're interested in the system, want to learn more. Today, I am going to be playing Jackson Miller, a park ranger of Canada, Kendo. Whoops.
Whoa,
And
whoa.
oh no.
Ah,
And
giving away the whole game.
yeah, well,
Joe's going to sue us now.
shoot. Anyways, I'm playing a park ranger. Looking at him, he isn't too much. He's built out kind of what you'd expect. He's got a large, wide brimmed hat, and he's got his first aid kit and his survival stuff. And unlike most of the people here in Kando, he's not the biggest Pokemon fan, but he's willing to be supportive where he can, and he'll help out so much as getting these folks where they need to go throughout the wild. He'd like to know what happened to Gigander and Castemis, and that's kind of his goal for trekking along with these folks. Other than that, we'll find out.
Perfect. So as we head on, our particular trainers have been headed towards a town located a little bit in the wilderness. Imagine this trek has been going for a couple of days. Maybe I just have a very narrow view of Canada, but I picture it being up a snowy mountain amongst the trees, headed towards this kind of hope for warmth in a village ahead. Why don't, if any of you have ideas, tell us something that has happened to you on this trek through this forest as we're nearing the end of this particular journey? Does anyone have any thoughts of something that may have happened over the last couple of days as you've been making your way through this forest?
You know, because we're climbing up a friggin' mountain and everything is snowed, I haven't been able to catch a single fish, and I'm absolutely rotted about it. I cast out my rod and it hits ice. Mental. Can't keep up with it.
I think maybe a situation that's come up with Jackson is that he's on Cove. He wants to make sure that Cove feels comfortable out in this part of Kando, and he's been on the look for a large lake, something to show Cove a little bit about the North's ice fishing.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's more my, once we'll figure it out, we'll find this big old lake and I'll have a little bit of a fish and it'll be dandy. I appreciate you taking the time to, big old, like a long old trek and having an eye out for wilderness and also a lake. It's appreciated.
Well, there's a number of lakes around here and through the forest and such, so we can definitely find something for you, Cove.
I hope so.
Or we could play pond Pokemon.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it's been a few years since I did that. Yeah. What a dandy old game we get on the go.
Bro, just say when.
I'll put Magic Card in goal.
Bro, I don't want to be on Cove's team anymore.
I think probably another thing that has happened, just given the things we established early on, is that things have probably gotten steadily worse between Rosie and Steven the longer we've been traveling together. And I imagine we're probably barely speaking to each other at this point.
I'm pretty sure Steven drank my protein shake, but I can't confirm that. I might have drank it, but I'm pretty sure it was Steven.
For the last time, it wasn't even a protein shake. You just put jerky in water.
It's bro. That's protein.
There's no shake.
Yeah, you give her a little shake by. He just shakes her up like that. That's
See,
It's not.
Cove gets it.
Right?
Cove understands. Thank you, Cove.
No problem, me buddy.
Cove doesn't know how ice works. So
I know how ice works. Is that it works too well. I can't get me friggin' me bobber down through it.
That's why you drill the hole.
Yeah, but it didn't even think about bringing me drill with me. I thought I'd be out here just having a laugh, having a little fish, right? Didn't think at all about it.
Bro, I could get like Goon to punch a hole in the ice, and then you could fish.
Right. Oh, now we're talking.
That's dangerous. That's a bad idea.
Oh, send Magicod after it falls in, right?
Well, I'm more concerned about us, and then, well, Rosie, how would you play Pocross on a broken lake?
It's a good point. Okay, maybe I can't punch a hole in the ice.
All right.
Do y'all take the time to do a little bit of a skirmish on the pond?
I think we've established. Yeah, Cove takes. Have we got into discussing Pokemon? Should we get into discussing Pokemon? Maybe we're playing
should,
Pokemon,
yeah.
right?
That was my intent with that. Actually, was that I think we could maybe just do the highlights of that little scrimmage match as you each describe who your Pokemon are and how they contribute to it.
Yeah, I think Cove has been carrying around like this 4-wheeled wagon with like a smallish fish tank on the back of it, and it's got a Magikarp, the classic Magikarp. It looks a lot like hold on now. No, this one. It looks a lot like this right here. His Magikarp. And he's not even on the screen. Oh no,
Well,
I'll
he's
fix
like
that.
he's like peeking in. Yeah, sorry, I cropped stuff.
He's right
There
here.
you go.
It looks a lot like that. It's a Magikarp. On the East Coast, we don't have the Magikarps. So I get 2 rocks and I move the rocks out on the pond, and then I put Magikarp in his wheeled cart just between these 2 rocks to play goalie. How this works, right? Got a little Magikarp in the net.
Works for me.
Technically,
What is your other Pokemon doing in this match?
Just being a nuisance. Just being an absolute nuisance. My other Pokemon is a Starly that looks an awful lot like a Puffin, and so its name is Puffin, and it's just flying around, getting in people's faces as they're about to like run up and score a goal. It like flutters in front of their face. Jag off, will you? Jesus, you're some nuisance. Christ Almighty, can't take this one anywhere. And it just like flies around and lands on the edge of Magikarp's little glass bowl there.
Perfect. What are the other Pokemon that are involved in this match, and what are they doing?
I think so. Whatever team. So if Rosie is not going to be on Cove's team, despite the fact that what Cove is bringing to the table is a Magikarp goalie and a bird. If Rosie's going to be on the other team, then Steven's going to be on Cove's team, just as a statement. And I think despite like everything Steven says about Pocross, he did grow up in Kando, so he's like, he knows how to play. He grew up playing. He's not the worst at it. So he's gonna like set his guitar case down that he's like slung over one shoulder, and he's gonna bring out his Pokemon. I don't have cool art like some people.
Yeah, I was about to say, we set the standard real high with him going first, because none of the rest of us are doing that.
Yep. But
we'll edit this out. It's fine.
Fix it in post.
Obviously, the first one that he's going to bring out is his regional Stantler evolution variant, Muscular, who is pretty much quite literally just a jacked moose, normal fighting type. And his name is Don Valley. He's obviously going to be playing the offense for our team. And then his other Pokemon is a Kecleon named Norman, who is going to be also annoying, but in a productive way.
Perfect. And what about our other team?
I think so. Brosy's Pokemon, he has a regional variant Farfetch'd, who, typically Farfetch'd walk around with their leak, but this Farfetch'd walks around with a hockey stick because he's here to play. And so his nickname is Gino. So Farfetch'd is, flying around. He's probably the only Pokemon there with a hockey stick, which probably gives him an advantage. So, and there's a Magikarp caught in net. Sorry, not a Magikarp. So he's probably racking up a few Genos, which is why he's named Geno. And then my Brosy's second Pokemon is a Slowbro named Goon, who, being a total bro like he is probably trying to fight Muscular.
Fantastic.
I'm down.
And what about Jackson's Pokemon?
So Jackson has had one of his Pokemon out basically the entire time they've been out because he uses this Pokemon kind of as like a pack horse to help carry things through the dense snow. It is a Bouffalont named Bud, and on the end of Bud's horns are comically small corks. There was an incident once, and we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it, but they need to be corked now. And Bud, he kind of takes them off, and Bud, being the timid creature he is, walks out onto the ice, legs shaking, as Jackson reluctantly tosses out his second Pokemon, who immediately hits the ice and falls flat trying to stand up. It is a Kandoyan ducklet with large red eyes. A tiny little ghost feather pokes out of the back of its head, and he says, "Jesus Murphy, stand up." And the loon-looking ducklet stands up, absolutely horrifying looking, as it is a ghost water type regional variant, and it is going to try its best, but it's going to look terrifying as it does it.
Yeah, can
Its
you
name is Murphy.
describe this image that you have drawn to represent this Pokemon? Because I think it is fantastic, and I would hate to do the viewers a disservice of not letting them have
Yeah,
this
I
visual
wish
image.
I can throw it up if you give me 2 seconds.
that'd be great.
Perfect. And also, I don't think we had a description of how Slowbro is different in Kando, unless I missed that. I would love to hear that.
For sure. So, typically Slowbro, he has the shell on his tail or, on his arm if we're in Galar, I suppose. But here in Kando, because Slowbro, he's a bro. He's here to fight. He's here to throw hands. He's got shells on both of his fists. Makes him real good for punching stuff and not much else.
Fantastic. And while Will's pulling that up, everyone, for all of those descriptions, make sure to take 2 tokens each for just helping us set the scene that we've been going through for the past couple of days.
Token rich.
Rich.
And yeah, for those,
There he is.
perfect. Yes, there is our
There he is.
objectively terrifying ducklet.
There's the boy.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
Um,
I love him so much.
So yeah, for those who are unfamiliar with the system, the 4 primarily ways that tokens shift. Our players can gain tokens by adding additional interesting or neat details to scenes or settings. They can spend tokens to define things about the scene that might give them an advantage. They can spend tokens to resolve a problem or something more intense than that. They might have to even spend multiple tokens or take multiple actions. Or they can gain a token by creating a problem or making one worse by being kind of true to their characters. So Essentially, if you think of a situation in a traditional tabletop role-playing game where you might roll a die, in this type of system, those situations still happen, but you'd usually just either spend a token to succeed or gain a token by choosing to fail. With all that being said, who wins the game? What do we think? Do we have thoughts on, based on simply these team splits alone, is there an obvious winner?
I feel like it's not Cove and Steven.
It's definitely not.
I was gonna say it's probably Brosy. Not even like I'm on Brosy's team, but it's probably
But
Brosy.
it's just Brosy.
Brosy's
Listen,
the only
bro.
one who really plays.
You had Bud in net. He did great. He just kind of stood there and like, he was like a brick wall. Brick wall. But like Gino racked up all the goals, and Rosie can't count that high. He tries, but after 10, he's out.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what it takes to win.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to say that like it was a little bit of a closer match maybe than expected. Yeah, like I think ultimately it might have been close if not for the fact that like our goalie was Magic God.
Yeah.
See, I was going to go the other
fish.
way with it. I was think that maybe the turning point was actually a surprising performance from Magic God.
Listen, it
A
could
beautiful,
be.
sweet kiss.
Yeah,
Could be.
it gives a little wink and puckers its lips a little bit.
It's very
Gives a little
distracting to the other team.
Puckers.
puckers.
There it is.
I feel like early on, Cove was like, now I used to play this when I was young, right? But I'm not young anymore. My hip is gone. It takes me at least a half hour to get out of bed, right? Every morning. It's just a nightmare. I have to get up, and the only thing that gets me through is thinking about the cup of tea that I'm going to get when I get out of bed, right? And we used to play this all the time, but now the rules are different. You can't jump in and punch the other fella or whatever, right? So, but I'll tell you, this will be a match. And then like 5 minutes in, Cove is winded, like, boys, oh boys, I'm done. I think I got to take a seat. I'm out. Not even
Bro,
just chasing around Starly.
Bro, you're just supposed to let the Pokemon do it. But
Well,
like,
back in
I
my
like
day,
the
we
hustle though. Great hustle, bro.
you
Great
know what?
hustle.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah,
I
we know
think
back in my day
during
we used to be all of us used to get involved, right? It's all changed now. It's all different. I can't keep up with it.
I think during this, Jackson has been kind of letting his Pokemon play on their own as he's set up like a small fire on the side, and he's warming up some hot chocolate or some no, let's keep it. It's coffee. He's making coffee.
Is your Ducklet the stereotypical outfielder kid forced to play the game? Like you're not paying attention, so it's just wandered off to the side of the pond and it's just doing its own thing.
Murphy, I don't know if any of you have ever seen a loon try to be on land. It doesn't happen. It stands up, it falls. It stands up, it falls. It's like used its back feet to kind of kick itself and like almost like it's trying to swim as she like moves herself to the end of the lake so she's not on ice.
Fantastic. So I'm going to assume Gino scores the final point of this match before y'all head on your way. And I think for the most part, the rest of your trip is probably on the final day. The rest of the trip is mostly uneventful as you head up towards town. But as the sun starts to set and things start to get a little darker, who notices something moving through the trees behind you?
My vote is for Murphy.
The Ducklet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just head rotates, intent stare in the direction of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it instantly
with no
knows.
context.
Just like that awful like loon noise. It's just like, ooh. You're like,
Jesus Christ, what was that?
Let's just Murphy.
What?
What's up?
As Murphy spooks you all, and you look in the direction that Murphy's looking, you see like a slight ruffle in the trees, and that almost like anime style, like just dash lines of movement as something leaps from one of the tree tops to another closer to you. And then you see multiple things leaping to other tree tops and starting to leap from tree top to tree top, moving closer to you.
Boys, oh boys, we're in it. What's that? What are those?
What?
Well, a warning would have been
Uh,
nice instead of just like a whale.
That's all she can do, really. And Jackson has pushed himself, like he's starting to unfasten Bud to get ready for the possibility of battle, as he's trying to look around and figure out what native Pokemon this might be.
Is it Tilly time, boys?
Um,
It might be.
I think that Jackson in particular, given that you are used to being out in the woods, would probably notice that this sort of like hunting pattern style of approach, it's probably a good chance that it is a pack of Sneasel, as they are usually known for following prey through the tree traps and waiting for their moment to strike, as they usually hunt in packs.
Boys, it's probably a Sneasel. A lot of Sneasel.
Oh, bless you.
Well, thank you. But sorry, the Pokemon Sneasel.
Oh, I didn't even hear him sneeze. How'd you hear that? Some ears on you, boy.
I can't take much more of this. It's been a week.
That's the stream. Good night. See ya. See you later. You knew what you were getting into inviting me.
I was being Steven, obviously.
So, are y'all gearing up for a fight? Are you trying to get away? What are you doing?
Rosie's already ripped his shirt off, and he's ready to go. He's not sure, like, he's not going to fight a Pokemon, but he's ready to fight.
I think we've been through this scenario a few times, and Cove is going through his bag to get another shirt to give Rosie afterwards. Buy some cold out. You're going to catch a cold. Can't be tearing every shirt you're tearing off you buy. Can't be at it.
Bro, it's tarps off during a fight.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to get cold. I'm just telling you.
Listen, all I have left is the Razor Leafs jersey, and I refuse to have that ripped.
Can't be ripping that.
Yeah.
They're so expensive. Why are jerseys
Would
so
wear that
expensive?
anyways, bro. Not the Razor Leafs. They haven't won in like 60-something years.
They're going to win. This coming season, they're going to win.
Okay, bro.
Steven like opens his backpack and looks in and is like, yeah, I'm down to smalls in the Lily Pup shirts. You have torn every other one in half.
I said I'm sorry, okay? I just, like, make more durable shirts, Steven.
How dare you? These are Gildan.
Expensive to do that too, right? That's money.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
Not cheap.
All
So
right.
do we want to do a fight? Or are y'all going to try and...
I mean, it sounds like we're not running at the very
Yeah,
least.
that certainly seems to be the case. Fair
I'm
enough.
not sure we can outrun the Sneasel that seemed to be like ninja hopping from tree to tree anyway, so...
Guys, my hip is gone from that fight, or from that game on the pond, so I'm not running anywhere.
Jackson's convinced that he knew that this was going to happen. This conversation's happened 3 times. The first time he tried to get to run away, and like somebody almost got hurt. The second time he's like, "Okay, let's see what happens." And Brosy ripped a shirt. And the third time it was like almost the exact same conversation, except before the Lily Pups thing was a medium.
Well then, yeah, the Sneasel start to move in, and this is another point where, again, something kind of unique to the system. Like, you can always resolve things in a combative manner, but outside of combat, using tokens, or we can go into a full battle. So there's also the option, if one of your Pokemon wants to make an aggressive move to try and scare them off, you can do that and just spend the tokens required to do that, or we can stat it out and do a full combat. With it being this early on, I think treating this as maybe like a higher level challenge. So maybe a 2 to 3 token spend across all of you to basically represent your Pokemon doing some moves to convince the Sneasel that you're not an easy target. Probably makes more sense versus sinking into a full battle. So how do your Pokemon, what moves do they use, and how do they go about making sure these Sneasel understand that you're not easy prey?
Steven will pull out Don Valley, his Muscular's Pokeball, and throw it. And as the big muscly moose fellow appears, he's going to say, Don Valley, let's open up this pit. And Don Valley is going to start doing he's going to start like windmilling. He's going to start doing high kicks. He's going to start like, if there was a crowd, he'd be killing the crowd. And he's just going to be very intimidating in a circle
Will,
around this.
I have a question for you, Will. Is
Yeah.
muscular quadrupedal or bipedal?
I think both. I think he's like
Okay,
in
he
between.
hulks.
Like he has very short back legs, I imagine, that are
Okay.
like moose legs, and then he has like very muscular, long upper body arms.
Yeah, I
That's way more
definitely
terrifying.
originally imagined quadrupedal, and then
Yep.
realized that we might be going more the route of the furry bait evolution
Yeah.
a style of some of the more recent games.
guess
I'm
that's
also
fair.
imagining muscular, partially because of the punk connotations, with a specific fur pattern that just looks like a sleeveless like tee.
That's
I'm
And
on
like
board.
maybe just going down to also the knees of its legs too, that just looks like shorts and a sleeveless tee, but it's fur.
I am now picturing like a stubby legged, long armed Machoke with like a fur vest and moose head.
Kind of similar.
Okay. Making sure I got that. What I'll do is I'll look to Murph and say, go be spooky. And they
Just
kind
do
of
some
like,
spooky shit. You
yeah,
decide
so
which.
so they kind of like do that ghostly fade, and just deep in the forest, two big red eyes float as you see the little ghost with its extra little spooky feathers poking up, and you hear that haunting loon cry go through the forest way like a fair distance away.
Perfect. I think that's actually probably enough. I'd say these are like a 2-token threat. So why don't you each spend a token as the combination moshing, windmilling, armed moose healer and the terrifying eyes and sounds of Murph put the fear into the Sneasel, and they choose to go on about their way.
As they're like heading off, you see Cove turning around with Magikarp in his hands. He's like, "Oh, Jesus!" But see, Buddy here is not very good for much, so I have to like kind of toss him to get into the combat and stuff like that if it's out in the open, right? So I was about to do that, but it seems like y'all got her covered, right? So I'll just, you're all right, Magikarp. And it's just like, God, just like, all right, there you go, back in your tank. All right.
Do you give it a little kiss goodnight?
Yeah, I look at you, Steven. I'm like, want to give Magikarp a little kiss? Huh?
No.
Give him a
I'm-
little
I'm
kiss
good,
before he goes
thank
to bed, bye.
No. No,
little kiss.
that's okay.
Why not?
No.
What's wrong with you?
No.
Look,
No.
he's lovely.
Bro,
I'm not
it's
kissing
like
the fish.
tradition. You gotta do it, bro.
It's tradition, right?
Not tradition where I'm from.
Give him a little kiss.
Put your
All
fish
right,
away.
bye. Shocking to you, of all of us. He looks up to you. You know. Can't believe it.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm
No,
not
I know
sorry.
you're not. I know you're not. You may as well not say you're sorry because I know you're not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
That's okay. That's okay, Magikarp. I'll sing you a little lullaby later on. All right. Something nice.
I'll sing to the fish. You want me to sing to the fish? I'll sing to the fish.
We'll have a
I'm
little.
not going to kiss the fish.
We'll play a little jigs and reels there later. Have a little dance out of it.
All right.
And with that, I think you'll have a relatively peaceful trip the rest of the way to the town. And as we get closer, we are now going to build the town we are arriving at. So, first things first, say the name for a little bit. What size town do we think this is? Tiny, average, or large?
Probably large, right?
Are we is this a stop on our journey or is this our destination?
I was imagining this being the town you were all headed to, kind of amongst the woods, where we might have to go out and hit some other places. But this is the town you've been headed towards.
Cool. All right.
The hub town, if we were to.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'd say it's pretty large then.
Yeah, I would say if it's the hub town, it's large.
Definitely.
Is this a more rural or a more industrial style town?
I think this one's got to be industrial.
Yeah,
I think most of
from what we've talked about, it's got to be industrial.
Yeah, most of the Kando towns, I think, are rural, but this one is like, because it's the hub.
Yeah.
Big corporate vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Big buildings.
And we have 3 unique locations. So every town has, unless it's specifically stated otherwise, is a Poke Center and some sort of Pokemart. But each town can have multiple unique locations. In the case of large towns, we usually pick at least 3 unique locations to this town. Some of those options are a Pokemon Gym, Pokemon Lab, some sort of specialty mart, a museum, a games corner, a corporate headquarters, a temple, a graveyard, or something else unique to this town. What are some of the unique places that are special about this town?
One's got to be a gym, right?
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So we definitely got a gym here. What team is this gym leader representing? Like, does he have ties to? Which of the teams in the Maple League?
I think because we just came off of like Frozen Pond, it's snowy up here. I'd say this is probably the ice gym, so it'd be the Avalugs.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got. So our gym leader has a connection to the Avalugs. Are they potentially a retired player who now handles more of like the kind of the scouting and the approval into the league, or is there some other connection?
I think former player works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of gym leader as like a coach.
A coach, yeah. I was saying the same thing.
That's interesting. So the gym challenge is entirely preseason, as the coach basically sources players for their team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that a lot, actually.
That's great.
Yeah, that's very
That's
cool.
very good.
Okay. Yeah, I like that too. So head coach of the Avalugs. What is this coach's name?
Just coach.
Just coach.
I was gonna say
Coach Wayne.
Yeah.
Coach Wayne.
The coach isn't a trainer type. It is now.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be, right?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. If freaking what was it? Will linebacker was one.
Linebacker, bandana guy.
Bandana
guy was one that I looked at.
Was very good.
Bandana guy is fundamental. Let's not lump it in with these others.
We all
Ash
know
Ketchum and Bandana
fondly.
Guy, the 2 iconic characters from the Pokemon series.
Not to be confused with
Alright,
Metapod Samurai.
Since
That's a quality character.
Kev gave us Wayne, can the other 3 of you tell me one detail about Coach Wayne?
He has 2 hockey sticks lacrosse sticks that he uses.
For what?
Ambidextrous.
Yeah, that was going to be
What
my
does he
question.
use
To
them for,
play
though?
or
Yeah.
just like for
Yeah.
everything?
Okay.
Everything. When we walk in, or if we walk in, he has a coffee in it,
Dual wields lacrosse sticks.
Yeah.
What's another detail about it?
I think he has a quick temper. He has a tendency to like kick things and yell, "It's fucking embarrassing."
I was thinking the same thing.
All right, and one more detail about him. Zach, you have one for us?
I think his signature Pokemon might be the what do we call it? Lumbertick?
Oh no, Lumberjack.
Lumberjack, that's it.
A lumberjack, yeah.
And it
Which, for
uses
those of
the
you who are not
axe
familiar
as
with
a stick.
Kandoian Pokemon, Lumberjack is the evolution of Cubchoo. It's a regional variant. Instead of Bear Arctic, it is Lumberjack, and it looks relatively similar to Bear Arctic, except for that it has lumberjack attire and an axe.
It's got a lot of followers on TikTok for some reason.
Yeah.
Talks about rustic living.
Perfect. And then, so that's our gym. What other locations here? I imagine there's at least one Timmy's here, correct?
I
Gotta
wouldn't even
have the
say those are
Timmy's.
unique locations. There's one on every street
There's a
corner.
Timmy's.
million.
So that's the other third thing that's in every town besides the Pokemart, or is the Timmy's the
Yeah.
Pokemart in every town? Does this
Oh,
region?
it's like those shitty gas station Tims.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like half Timmy's, half.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That has to be it.
The combo Pokemart Tims.
Yeah. That's it. That's it for sure.
And would anyone like to explain what Timmy's is in Kando?
What isn't
Yeah.
Timmy's and Kando?
Yeah.
Everyone looks back and Cove already has a large coffee in his hand.
Near as I can tell, as the only non-Canadian in our canon, are they called? Did we decide they were called Timmy's in this?
Yeah, I think that,
I think the stores are called Timmy's. We have not
Yeah,
revealed
okay.
Yeah.
anything else.
So Timmy's is just a prolific like fast food coffee chain. They've got
With-
like donuts and sandwiches and things.
Fantastic coffee, like suspiciously fantastic coffee.
well, I think
Questionable celebrity endorsements.
You know, it's just like their slogan says, "Kando runs on Timmy's."
Oof.
it's true.
All right, so the Timmy's is not a unique location, but there is for sure one there. What other unique locations do we have here?
I don't know that it would come up, but I had an idea for like a music venue, like a punk club here called
Mhm.
Sneezy D's.
Sneezy
Easy D's
D's.
is very good.
Sneezy D's. The logo, it's a sneasel, obviously.
That's genius. Very genius.
All right, so we've got Sneezy D's, a local punk venue.
I don't know much about Canada, but I do know.
And then did we decide that Tim's Tower was here as well?
Jim's Tower is here.
Yeah. Tim's Tower.
Yeah.
Why is it some big old tower? How do you even get up there?
It's like a shocking, especially for Kando. It's a very big tower.
Yeah. Very noticeable to anyone who would enter the town, as very few Kando structures, as we mentioned before, are built above the tree line to avoid attracting Gigander attention. So it definitely caused some waves when Tim's Tower, the headquarters of the Timmy's Corporation, was built above the tree line.
Hell yeah.
And next piece, what two types of Pokemon are commonly found in this town?
What's the
It's got to
garbage
be ice
ones?
types.
Ice types?
Yeah, if the Avalugs are here, my guess is that there's a large number of ice types that
What were
come in
the-
through here.
Yeah. What were the creepy? Oh no, that was in our other Pokemon game. Never mind. Not in Missing Numbers. The last time we played Pokemon Tales, I was gonna say like, what were the? I thought we had said that the like those creepy butler Pokemon were like baristas, but I was getting it mixed up with the last game we played.
I think if there's a Lumberjack here, then there's probably some Cubchoos around.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine
Yeah.
Cove's just like, every time he sees one, it's just like, you got a little something on your nose.
They got little hatchets.
Yeah, the regional variant cup juice with little tiny hatchets.
Little
Little
trapper hat.
hatchets and a tiny hoot, like a little toque.
Yeah. Just a little little hatchet.
Like little murder teddy bears almost.
Super cute though.
Mm.
What is our second type besides ice? Before we build out some of the common species.
Poison.
Poison?
Yes.
Yeah.
No poison. I like ice and poison a lot.
So does that mean, because I know someone mentioned it earlier, what is it called?
Garbodor and that. Rubbish.
Yeah, I was about to say, are there the Trubishes on every corner?
Probably a few Grimers you don't want to step in.
Trubbish and Grimer. What's
Are there any poison ice types?
That is
It
a
was
great
just-
question.
Gotta be, right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
No.
Don't think so.
Ooh.
So what is
That's
a
a new
regional
one.
variant that is a poison ice type?
Oh God. Great question.
That is a good question.
I'm looking
Frozen
for poison
Grimer.
water to see if there's.
Grimer that's just like
It just slides. Oh, you know what it might be? It was a fossil Pokemon. Aurorus?
Oh,
I was gonna say maybe the Garbodors are just like when you leave your trash sitting out and it snows, they're just like
Oh.
covered in a layer of like
Yeah.
snow,
No.
but
That's
they're
where my
still
mind
like
was at.
trash.
So
Yeah.
I think like maybe a regional variant, was it Garbodor is, I believe, Trubbish's evolved form, and it's just like 3 Trubbishes on top of each other like a snowman.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
That's very good.
The top one just has a
Garbage
carrot.
snowman.
Just holding it.
Yeah, just holding it.
Throws it every now and then.
Yeah, right. That's its attack. That's its what's it? Poison dart?
Poison
No,
ice. Oh,
Poison
or-
sting.
poison sting.
Poison sting.
Just sting the artist.
All right, and that's essentially 3 poison types. What's one more ice type besides the regional Garbodor?
what about Snover?
Snover.
Oh, that makes sense.
As well, you're all talking about it. I'm going to go across the street to that Timmy's over there. I need to get some hot water because if I don't, Magikarp is going to freeze. So I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I guess we didn't think this through. None of us have a fire type with us.
I'm froze.
Bros, we gotta teach Cove how to use Pokeballs.
I
don't
tried.
think he ever will. Yeah.
He's a Pokeball denier. Doesn't even think they work. He's
Come back
telling me
with
all about it.
a tray with like 4 cups of hot water and just pours them into the magic. There you go. Bye. Yes, I know. You're getting cold. Bye. I know. Yeah.
And with those Pokemon established, last thing, what is a unique behavior, ritual, holiday, something like that that is unique to this town? Something people here do that they do not do in other towns.
Win
they
matches.
totally excuse playoff behavior.
Just like riots on the regular.
Oh, yeah, riots on the regular.
God.
Just like
Xander,
weekly sports
Philly.
riot.
Every Friday is riot day.
Every time every time the Avalugs win, they just they level their city.
How good
then-
do we think Avalugs are one of the better ones? Yeah, probably. Hey,
Gotta be, right? Gotta be.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at our list of things, we did not put Bergmites as our one of our ice types.
Mm.
That's a pretty good one, right? Little ice dudes.
Are the bugs?
They're
They're just like tiny little ice triangles that eventually become Avalugs, which would be
Oh yeah, okay. All right.
that would be
They're-
relevant.
they're
coming
small.
back.
Bergmites are like tiny, I think.
They might not be in the city though. Like you might have to. Like,
They might be
go out into
outside.
the-
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
In the area nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, based on how hefty these boys are.
Yeah, I was going to say they are not tiny.
No,
They
they're
are
not.
3 feet tall and 200 pounds. That is
Yeah, they're
objectively terrifying. for
pretty
the large
big,
little thing.
actually. How big's an Avalug?
That's how we get
Massive.
snow days.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Yeah, right.
It weighs over 1,000 pounds. Okay.
Oof.
I don't think that Bergmites and Avalugs are in the city.
Probably
Just
not.
And then, what is the name of our town? So you don't have a name.
I liked Toronto personally.
Is this Toronto?
We gotta save that for the Razor Leafs, though.
Oh, is this not? Okay, all right.
Right?
Oh, I
This
thought
is
we
the
were-
Avalanche.
I thought this
feel
was I thought this was the Razor Leafs town.
Oh, is it? Did I
Well,
misunderstand?
now it's
That might have been me.
Well, now it's the Avalugs town.
Yeah,
but-
now
it's the
no,
Avalanche town.
it's the Avalix town, but I like this because the Razor Leafs never win, so maybe they are an out of town, team.
So Toronto.
Toronto
Toronto.
Avalugs. That still rolls off the tongue pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
There's a hockey fan out there who's ready to throw fists with all 5 of us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got no dog in this fight. Just for the record.
It's a
If
dog.
you come to have beef with me about hockey, you are going to be disappointed in how much
Yeah,
I can
same.
participate in the conversation.
Yep, I'm the same way.
Perfect. So you enter Toronto. It's a large industrial town with its traditional Poke Center. It's Timmy's / Pokemart mixed store. It's kind of gym stadium off in the distance, definitely not right near the entrance. The towering Tim's Tower in the background, and you also hear it's later at night, so you maybe do hear some sounds of music playing from a building off to the side that you see like kind of a neon Sneezy D's sign glowing overhead. And what are the first thing y'all are doing once you get into town?
Well, stopping for a Tim's, obviously.
I go for another, yeah. Good.
I could have a Tim's.
Yeah.
I could do a Tim's.
May as well.
We go and meet Jim at Tim's.
Yes.
I haven't had
Yeah.
Tim's in forever.
He's so busy. Can't- He
Busy
works a
man.
lot.
So you head into the Timmy's, and does anyone want to describe the interior? Paint us a picture of the inside of this Timmy's for those who visit them more regularly than maybe the Americans in the.
Someone just took like a few variants of sepia and dark brown and went wild with the interior. Counters
Yeah.
are like dark brown, but then the tabletops are like a light brown, and then the floor tiles are like still kind of the same color as the tabletops.
Also, for some reason, there's like glass windows and one random rock one just somewhere in there that blocks off other tables. The movement flow doesn't make sense in this building at all. There's obviously there's the front counter, and displayed in that is a number of various treats for humans and Pokemon alike. I'm assuming a friendly figure waits for us, and that would be Jim.
Yeah,
Which is-
so I think you see Jim. Jim has the traditional like the brownish khaki kind of button-up shirt, the visor. I think we agreed says Team Hortons across the visor, and then a little name tag introducing their name, who greets you upon entry.
Jim, boy, what are you at? I just saw you across the street at the other old Timmy's there, but you're double shifting, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I got to keep working. Got a couple different jobs. It's pretty easy to transfer between locations.
Yeah, you're working hard. You're working hard, but I tell you, no, I just get I'll get the usual the old double, and I'll get a couple of little bits for old Magic Cod here and a little starly on me shoulder as well. If you don't mind, a little puff in here.
Yeah, and as expected, anytime you requested a double, you're greeted with the typical response of a chant from Jim of "Prepare for double and make it double"
Oh,
before he rushes off to get your order ready.
Andy. Oh, does anyone else want anything? I'll pay for it.
You know, I think I'll get some of those Poke Bits. Like, have you ever tried the Poke Bits? Like, I know they're supposed to be for Pokemons, but like, bro, they totally check out.
I did, and I don't think I got off the toilet for a week.
Oh,
Honestly.
I don't know, bro. I got like an iron stomach or something. You know what they say.
All those jerky shakes you're eating, right?
What do they say?
You know what? Probably. See, and bros, he's gonna turn to Steve and be like, protein.
I have heard you say that a lot. That's fair.
I'm just gonna get a double as well. I'm gonna keep this simple. I'm gonna get a double, get something for Murph and Bud. Maybe a sandwich.
Yeah,
He
Steven
orders.
definitely Steven definitely orders almost robotically. Wherever you go on tour in Kando, there's always a Timmy's. So he spent a lot of time in these places.
Perfect. So yeah, you all get your orders. You get your food. I think visiting a Timmy's would fall under the category of participating in a town ritual. So I think that accrues to you 1 town progress, which is a note for the people listening. So both towns and the locations we visit have a tracker called progress that is accrued over time. When you're visiting locations, it's about how you set the scene. When you're in a town, it's more about what you accomplish. Progress is usually optional in a town unless you want to challenge a gym. Before the gym is available and ready, you have to accrue enough progress. Because otherwise, as anyone who's played a Pokemon game knows, you visit the gym and the gym leader will be conspicuously absent on some project or another. So you all, get your requisite food. It is late. Are you going to explore the town some or find a place to rest for the night?
Well, should we ask Jim, or does anyone else know anything that's going on here around town? Or should we ask Jim we're visiting, right? May as well see stuff, do things, right? Maybe there's a pond nearby. The thing about all these towns and stuff, right, is that you can just go fishing anywhere. I take my old rod, got my old rod there right next to Magic Cod, and you just fish anywhere. No one cares. No one cares at all. But should we ask someone about it, or does anyone else know anything about this place?
But like, what about the ice, bro?
I'll figure that out. I'll get some hot water from Jim.
I'm pretty sure this is I'm pretty sure that this city is zoned for good rods. I don't think your old rod's going to cut it.
What? What do you mean good rods? It is a good rod. It's old. It's good.
No, the rank of good,
I rank. You got to have a good rod to.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you remember how we had to get you your license, right? Your fishing license.
That was silly. All that, a lot of effort, right?
Well, it was a couple pieces of paper that you had to sign, but a couple bucks that you had to spend. But so this is one of those other rules that ensures that once you throw what you catch back, it won't die in the lake.
Right.
So you need a good rod in the city to keep pollution down.
All the rules these days. All of it. Well, that's all right. I won't. I'll hold off for now. I don't want to cause big old fuss, anything like that. What do you got? What's everyone
do?
There's
a Pokemart right over there, and he like points into the corner.
Yeah, but then I'm
like a Basculegion Pro shop or something.
Basculegion Pro is very good.
Starts. Thing about those shops, half of the boys that works in there don't know what they're talking about, right? Never been out on a lake day in their life, right? I mean, it's not against them. It's just, job's job, I guess.
Yeah, it's just that, like, sir, I just work here. And it's like, well, bro, I'm trying to, like, find stuff. I feel you. I get it.
Right. You got to test out rods while they're there, too, right? They don't like that. They don't like when you're casting them inside. Hates it. Anyway, what are we at? What are we up to? What's going on?
This is why there are laws.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to know it's any good? Right? Unless you has a couple of goes on her. sees how she handles.
It's a great point. I have a theory that they're all the same.
Oh, but
I think they're all exactly the same. But
listen,
that's
you
just-
plays the old. What do you play? The guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you grabbed another guitar, it wouldn't be the same thing now, would it?
I mean, I've broken a lot of guitars.
What are you breaking them for?
He thinks it's cool.
What a waste.
It is cool. I don't think it's cool. It's
What do you
categorically
like?
cool.
What do you like at all? That's shocking. What a waste of money. You fix
Are you
them.
asking me what my interests are? Or sometimes it's very hard to understand you.
I'm just listen, but I'm just a little surprised that you're breaking guitars left, right, and center all over the place. Do you clean them up at least?
Yeah, of course. Of course I do.
Well, that's all right.
You know, I think we're tourists here. One of the things that we could very well be doing is going to check out Kando's largest tower.
Oh yes, I want to get a look at that. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
You can always go look at Tim's HQ, like Tim's tower.
Think you can get Tim's in Tim's tower?
There's no way you can't. I mean, you probably get something just for taking a tour, right?
Right? Like, yeah, it's like walk in, here's a coffee.
I don't think it's
You think
that
it's-
free, but I think it's close to that free.
Oh, it should be that
Do you
free,
think it's
though.
like- It's like, do you think it's like better Tim's?
Getting right
Oh,
from the
It's a real
source.
top shelf.
you'd think so. Like, it's
Right.
like the Tim's, right? So it's
Yep.
got to be like the best Tim's,
I would imagine.
right?
Imagine
Yeah.
so.
It's got to
You
be.
think they just have one giant cup inside of it? That's why the tower is so big, and they siphon. They have a little keg tap, and they siphon out. They fill up barrels, send them off to all the Timmies around the country, or
Cole,
I
I'm going to go out
tasted-
on a limb and think that that's probably not how coffee beans work.
I have no idea, not a clue.
No, I did taste the barrel aged coffee once, and
A short run of it.
nothing's ever tasted the same.
No,
That's awful.
I'll never be the same. I gave
It broke.
Magicod a little taste of it. He went wild. Couldn't contain him. Jumped right out of his little fish tank. I had to run down the street after him. Couldn't catch him.
What
you ever
about
thought about-
Puffin?
Me hearing's going by what? Sorry, what'd you say?
What about Puffin? Why didn't you send Puffin after Magic?
Puffin does
God?
whatever Puffin wants to by. No control in Puffin. Puffin's off now stealing someone else's Pokebits. Didn't even pay for them. I got Pokebits here. No, it's gone off stealing someone else's.
Did you
Every
ever
now and
hear-
then Oh, sorry, didn't mean to brosi.
No. Like, they're like your Pokemon, right? Like, you're their trainer, bro. Like, you can totally.
I was about to
like-
ask.
Actually,
Well,
are they yours?
did-
Or like,
Did
wouldn't say
you
they're
ever
mine.
catch them?
They're their own, little creatures. What do you call them? Pokemans. Them things.
At any point, did you ever catch them?
I accidentally caught Magicod, yeah, when I was younger.
Like in a ball or like with your hands?
With me good old fishing rod. What else? I was out on the water, on a
I'm
little
gonna
trip.
need
So
to
you're
check
just walking around with
two
wild
wild
Pokemon.
Pokemon. I'm gonna need to check with my superiors to see if this is even. I mean, I guess technically they're wild animals, but
I mean, Puffin's wild. Look at it. It's gone on. It's stealing food in the background. It's absolutely wild. Yeah. No, they're more like
I'm starting.
they're like my little friends by.
I'm-
I don't know what you're talking about.
no, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That
All right.
part, there's nothing.
Don't tell
It's,
don't tell him I said that. No, Magicod got good
I'm,
ears.
s- I'm starting
Just-
to think one of them's a fish that can't get away from you, and the other one just is bullying you constantly.
No, but the little Puffin used to come around all the time. I'd put out food for other things. It'd come by, steal all the food. Nothing else would come around, and eventually it just stuck around for a while. So I said, "Shag it. May as well stick around by. I'll feed you."
Does it like steal your food?
Yeah, every now and then I'll be eating breakfast, and I look back at my plate and there's sausage missing.
It's a sausage. Okay. We got a
Puppet is
hungry-
also now established as carnivorous, which is also more terrifying.
way more terrifying. He's just
Um,
waiting for Magic Cod to die. Like, the second you turn the wrong way, Magic Cod's gone.
As you
I
all
love
are,
I love the idea. Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
love the idea that there's like a complicated backstory between Magicod and Puffin, where like Puffin's been trying to catch Magicod for longer than they've been with Cove, and now they're just trapped in like a Tom and Jerry conflict around Cove.
Neither of them wants to disappoint him.
This is totally like a Tweety Bird Sylvester thing, and Cove is the
Yeah,
grandmother
exactly.
that like just
Yeah.
catches Puffin every now and then and gives him a
Puffin,
Back with
what
the
are you
newspaper.
doing?
Oh, he's some scourge. I'll tell you that much.
As
Right.
you all are just riffing in the Timmies,
We're at the counter still.
still, Jim's just politely standing there, just waiting in case you need anything else. A man, probably like a middle-aged man, busts through the door, and he looks very like cold, like he's been out in the weather, but he's bundled up, and you see him, and he's moving very quickly and very just very like direct, and he seems to be gathering like any sort of additional like cold weather gear he can get to like pile on. He's grabbing coffee to like seemingly try and warm himself. And as he heads up to the counter and kind of yells direction, you can hear him muttering under his breath like, "Can't believe he left. I gotta go find him. Can't believe he just went and left. I gotta go find wherever he went. Gotta go." And he just kind of like almost runs into you all before he kind of like stops. Go. Sorry about that.
Oh.
I just, if I can like,
Oh, sorry.
and he's kind of gesturing to the counter.
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Totally
Sorry
sorry. Like
about
we
that.
didn't mean
Yeah,
to.
sorry.
We're just kind of like hogging the space here. We're
Yeah.
sorry. We're sorry.
We got caught up in
Sorry,
the conversation.
sorry.
Right?
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Bye. Let's take it.
Yeah.
We'll go over here.
And yeah, after an extended 3 to 5 minute period of multiple apologies and like trying to get around each other, but everyone just being too polite to let anyone not to make the first move past.
We'll stay still. All of us will stay, and you go around us. Problem solved, right? I think that's how we're going to get around this.
He makes up to the counter. He's purchasing the stuff from Jim, and you also hear him asking if Jim if there's any maps for like the nearby area, particularly kind of a pass in a slightly different direction leading out of the city. And Jim's kind of like, I don't think there's much like that, but yeah, you're not going out tonight, are you? And it's like, yeah, I've got my son's missing. I gotta go look for him. He just wandered off, and I gotta go find him. It's too cold out there.
Cove's going to elbow Jackson.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah. Sorry, your boy's missing there. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, he's been talking about it's the time when the auroras show up in the night sky, but you really kind of have to get outside of town to be able to see him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been talking about him for weeks, and I don't know. Tonight I went out to get something. I came back and he's just gone. His backpack was missing too. I think he must have snuck out to try and go see him. I got to go find him.
Cold
You
night.
are a
We
sick
should.
son of a.
Gonna kill that dog.
Oh my God,
Please let me
you're a
be
bad
of
guy.
assistance.
You
All the bad guys.
I mean, I'll take any help I can get. I just got to find him. It's too cold out there.
Agreed.
Now, I can't believe he ran away on Riot Day. I never would have missed Riot Day when I was his age.
I was excited to come see that.
You know what? Avalugs do fine. You'll see Riot Day in it's Monday? So 3 days?
Oh, they haven't. All right, dandy.
Yeah, they're kind of weird about it. Like, it's like if they win, they riot. If they lose, they riot. It's like,
You'll get to see it, Cove. I promise.
yeah, it's like real weird, bro. Like I don't know if they're ever happy, bro.
And Jim like ways to try and like explain. But they're different types of riots. There's riots of celebration, and there's riots of frustration, and it's an entirely different activity.
That's why
That
they got
makes
that big old
sense.
banner.
Yeah.
That's why they got that big old banner hanging outside the gym that says, "No matter what happens, we riot."
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I wonder, is it paid? Jim, is it a paid holiday? Do you get time and a half now for working this today, or what? How does that work? Every 3 days?
No, you do get like hazard pay if the riot damages the store, though.
Well, that's good. He wants that, right? Just in case. You never know. That's all right.
If I like kick a wall, will you get paid more?
Only if the riot is actively like happening around
Oh.
the Timmies.
Rosie full on didn't wait for an answer and started like kicking the wall.
Rosie's
That's-
roasting.
That's Steven gestured at the wall and says, "That's not nearly enough damage." Like when I was a kid, the boys and I, you know, we just throw trash cans through any Timmy's window we could find because
What I heard. Yeah.
then they get paid more.
So what we have to do is we have to come back on, what is it, Thursday, he said. With big
Yeah.
old heap of us. We'll catch a couple of them, there's a couple of them garbage things that are outside. We'll throw some of them in. Anyway, there's someone's fella, buddy,
Yeah,
my
sorry.
son, what's your name? You froze dead there.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, my name's Mike, and my son is Alex.
Mike.
Yeah, if you're willing to help, that would be fantastic. I've been out there searching, and I haven't been able to find him. Maybe you'd have a bit better luck.
We got a park ranger, so I'd hope.
Yeah, probably a little bit better than you. We should definitely actually be on the move a little bit quicker. There were some Sneasel kicking around, and I don't need to deal with another boy who decided to mess with some Sneasel.
We better. Oh, Jim, sorry. We'll take
As
off.
part of Jackson's backstory.
We'll take off right. We're going to take off right away. Jim, can we get 4 more coffees for the road? And also, I'm going to get a couple of shirts if you have them. I'm going to take a couple of. Rosie, what size are you? Large, are you?
Bro, you know I'm a large.
Large. We'll get a couple of large because he's going to be tearing off his friggin' shirts, but he can't keep him away from it. So
I'll tell you what, let's do one better than the 4 coffees. Let's get a take 10.
There you go. Now we're talking.
There
Let's
we
do
go.
that. We'll get one
Get
of
a
those.
take 10 and like we'll do that.
Is that 10 coffees?
It's
It is
a
10
huge
coffees.
container of just coffee, and you have to.
Oh,
It's like a
okay,
gas
alright,
canister. of
Yeah, it comes in a big
Oh,
cardboard
okay.
box.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. I was gonna say ours comes in boxes. But that makes
Yeah,
sense.
It's you get them when your boss doesn't want to get everybody's order. They got to take 10 and
Yeah.
just drop in the staff room.
Right.
So yeah,
It's an
you load
entire
up on
pot of coffee.
You load up on coffee and shirts, and you're able to
Two
head out in the
necessities.
direction this gentleman points to where his son left. And we will build out where we're going to be exploring, and maybe do a little bit of that. But why don't we take a brief break,
yeah.
get everyone a chance to stretch their legs, refresh their drinks, etc. We'll be back in 10 minutes, and everybody hopefully stick around, and we'll be right back.
I'll be here.
Continue on from here.
We'll get her done.
Yeah, I'll come back.
I'll come back.
See y'all in 10. And we're back.
Thanks for sticking around, everyone. So, let's go find a kid. As we go to head out of town in the direction that this gentleman has described to you as the best place to go see the auroras when they manifest, let's go ahead and start to build out that environment we're going to be traveling through. What what do we think that looks like? Is it a forest or is it something different? What do we think the area is kind of?
I imagine it can't be too heavily wooded if the kid's trying to get a good view of the aurora.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there's like a lookout peak that kind of juts up out of the ground where it's like more open and stuff like that.
Yeah. Some kind of clearing for sure.
Yeah.
So that would be like the destination we're headed towards. On the way there, are we traveling through a forest, or is it like up a mountain, or what type of area are we traveling through to get to that final clearing?
I think we said there's always a forest to go through.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I didn't
think-
want to just assume a forest, but that was kind
Yeah.
of like a definitive.
I think this is a forest, probably a pretty dense forest.
That works. So themes of this particular section of the forest, if we can look at it that way. I know one, we were talking about some potential for some pretty unique Pokemon in this space. So do we want to use the rare Pokemon theme?
Yeah, let's go rare.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one.
And boys, I'd rather well done, but if you want rare, I suppose we'll go with it.
Gotta get medium, bro.
Medium, yeah.
Best of both worlds.
I don't mind it now.
And is that rare Pokemon the Amara?
Yeah, it's probably a Mora. That makes sense to me.
Additional themes we've got to work with. So we have options like diverse ecosystem for any sort of type that isn't covered by our 2 types we picked for the space, filled with trainers, overrun by criminals, maze-like, haunted, or we can simply go with the rare Pokemon theme. Do we have any others we think is fitting for this particular forest?
I think if it's like a particularly dense forest, it might feel a little maze-like.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was thinking the same.
Like we're
was
definitely
asking
gonna
for a
need
map.
like a park ranger to kind of navigate us around. Otherwise, Brosy's just gonna be going in circles.
Well, if it's a kid who's lost in the forest too.
Makes sense. And what 2 types do we think are most commonly found in this section of the forest?
Grass, yeah.
It's legal in Canada.
Grass, and then are we sticking with ice, or are we doing a different thing for the second type?
Go rock.
Oh yeah, mountain stuff,
That
rock.
makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What Pokemon do we think are found in this forest?
Snover and Abomasnow, probably.
Mhm.
Mm.
We could do the most disappointing Pokemon of all time, Onyx.
Strong words.
They're gonna
Wow.
say
With
Bidoof.
The
Onyx?
stats aren't great.
Actually
Yeah.
throwing shade on Onyx.
It is a literal giant rock snake with like it has a very low defense, like almost no attack. It's awful.
It's a
E-
really bad Pokemon.
every game I'm like, oh, I'd love to have an Onyx. Onyx are so cool. And they suck.
You know, to be fair, because they require such insane experience to level up, I've never gotten. I just always assumed it sucked because mine was under leveled. I don't think I've
No.
ever leveled one up to catch up with the rest of my party to see that it sucked on par, because I just assumed it was because it was low level, because they're like such a
It's
pain
got-
to level up.
Got the same stats as like Butterfree and Poliwhirl. Like,
That's wild.
it's bad. It's really
It's very
bad.
bad.
So are there Onyx here?
The
I think it'd be
disappointing
fun to
Onyx.
have an Onyx.
Sure,
I
yeah.
think it would be even if he's not great. I think it would be fun to have Onyx because it's such a weird Pokemon for a forest.
Yeah, well they like come down off the mountain every so often, you know.
Some other rock and grass types.
Oh, you know what would make sense for this? What about Stonjourner?
Ooh, that's interesting.
But like in a Nookshook themed Stonjourner.
Oh.
I'm fine with Stonjourner.
I'm totally fine with it just being rock still.
I don't know.
Just like
It sounds very cool. I don't know what any of those words mean.
it's from the newest gen, I think.
Okay.
It's literally the
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge
It's
Pokemon
Stonehenge.
because we had a London themed
Mm.
like game.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Um,
Go with an
How'd
old
you try
reliable
with
for
the-
like an oddish.
Osh is good.
I like an
Field of
oddish.
Oddishes.
Since you're traveling through a forest at night, because it is rock type, I almost think maybe a lichen rock, wolves in the
Ooh.
woods.
Yeah. Like rocks are cool.
And then maybe one more grass type in the woods.
Could it because it's night, could it be like a Phantup? Have like that ghost grass kind of might add to the spookiness of the forest.
We can definitely go with the Phantom if y'all want to do that one.
Yeah, we go with that. Or the
I
C
I like
dot line.
ghosts.
Phantom is like, I would argue, one of the most highly commonly suggested Pokemon in this game.
Yeah.
I think because we're often out traveling in the woods and people like ghosts, like Phantom shows up a lot, and it's a good thing. I love Phantom. All right,
You're like a basic bro now.
no, you're good. Like
No, it's okay.
I mean it. Like it's everyone, and I don't mean that as a negative thing. I mean that like Pokemon Company, you do more with Phantom. It is a very popular Pokemon.
It's Wise and Unite.
You know, I did think I never heard of this before. But I looked through the whole list of Pokemon. I was like, that one does look cool. Maybe I take that one. And then we have Magic Card, so you know
Just
where I
spend
ended
the
up.
token. Spend the token, you get it.
Phantom and Trevenant are both very, very cool concepts. And terrifying. As so
Oh,
many
yeah.
ghost types are if you actually read the Pokedex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Perfect. So I think that gives us a good bit to play with in our woods. So again, to kind of just clue in those who are watching along and are not familiar with the system. So anytime we build out a new location, we dictate how much progress it's going to take to clear it, and then we use frames to set up scenes in that location. Any of the players can contribute a frame. Frame introduces a new scene. We play through the scene and resolve the scene, and then someone else will introduce a new frame to keep things moving forward. With every frame that we use, they accrue one progress. Once they've accrued the agreed upon amount of progress, they can spend it to exit the location or to complete it, find what they're looking for, etc. So in that case, based on time we have left in the session, and just kind of the feel of this place, I would say this is probably like a 5 to a 7. Probably not a full 10 in terms of progress. So does anyone have ideas for the first kind of scene, the first thing we encounter as you all head into this forest outside of town looking for this missing boy?
Well, we probably wouldn't jump straight to Phantoms.
No.
Oh, let's look at all these things already. No. I think the thing that makes the most sense is that Jackson is foraging a path, being the master of the terrain, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I've probably been through this part before. And start making my way through. And as we push on for the first little bit, we find some tracks or evidence of this, but we find following as we go into the forest, we find footprints in the snow. Not quite as old, but fresh tracks following after the child's feet into the deeper part of the forest.
I think to add to that, because I'm reading over the things, I think we see other tracks that are
Human
kind of
footprints.
larger and more intimidating near the
Yeah, That's kind of what I was getting at too.
Yeah. I think that's fun.
Right. So yeah, you see some. Both of you take a token for that. Those
Okay, nice.
details, and then so you see the path leading further in, and you see something seems to be following this kid further into the forest. Does Jackson recognize what those tracks belong to? Do you just know it's something big, but you're not quite sure what?
I think that Jackson isn't sure yet because maybe the wind. You know what? Here, we'll go into this. I think that as we've been moving in, a chilly breeze has started to come through, and it's starting to cover some of the tracks. So we are running low on time as the weather is getting worse and worse.
Perfect. And so, again, for those watching along, there is a weather mechanic in this game where at any point anyone can gain a token by shifting the weather to be worse or using the weather to introduce complication. So in this case, we are shifting the weather from temperate, which is what it was, out to a chill breeze, which means that can take a token. And yes, now there is a sense of urgency as you realize you may have limited time to follow these tracks as you head further into the forest. And what do you think? Do you have an idea for what you will come across next?
I have an idea that might help us.
Mm-hmm.
As we get deeper into the forest, at this point, the young boy Alex's footprints are more or less covered. We've been traveling for maybe about 20 minutes now. Those heavy footprints are still in the snow, but they've divided into a couple different tracks throughout this maze-like forest.
Are those heavier footprints? I just realized this. Would both of you were thinking that? Were you thinking the rare Pokemon frame for those footprints?
I personally wasn't.
The only reason I mentioned that is because that is one of the options is finding generally traces of that Pokemon. Or do you think it's something else different than the Amaras?
I think it's bigger than the Amaras.
Okay.
But I was going to say, I think at this point, moving in, this would be when Jackson starts to piece together what this Pokemon might be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that based on size and how difficult it is to spot, Jackson kind of crouches down and he says, I think these might be Abomasnow. Heavy and difficult to see in weather like this.
What's that? Is that like a Yeti or something?
Yes, it's kind of like a Yeti, kind of like a tree. It's you've probably had your own horror stories of it back on the coast, but they're big, temperamental, and cause some problems. They're typically fine if you give them their space, but they're a problem if the child upset one of their kids, one of their Snover.
We think the young fella here ran in, didn't know what he was at, bumped into one of the little young Abomasnows, and then now they're chasing after him.
He might have, because like the captain of the Avalugs, he has an Abomasnow, and that thing is like it's real good. So like if the kid saw an Abomasnow, he might have been like, "Bro, I know you," and then went to like hang out with it. But like,
Right.
I don't think they're normally friendly.
Oh, that's what their
That's
logo
true.
is the Abomasnow. Oh,
Yeah, their logos, well, in Toronto it's Avalugs, but
right.
these are
Right. because that's what happens when you catch Pokemon, because they're wild before that and sometimes dangerous, and then you catch them,
They're wild,
and
yeah.
then and then when you catch them in Pokeballs,
Yeah,
it
but
calms them down, and then
you're throwing around those things. You don't even know, like, I don't even know. I don't, going full Irish. No, but I'm telling you, I don't think they works half the time.
Well, you gotta throw another one if it like breaks out though. That's the
you
point.
gotta
That's a
fight it first.
That's a waste of
Gotta
money.
battle.
You're telling me to go buy multiple of these things. I'm going to throw it. It doesn't even work. I'm going to toss another one out there. Am I?
You
What a
gotta
waste of
like
money. Guys.
you gotta like up your Pokeball game though. Like you throw like a mean little like curveball or like a knuckleball or something on there. Like then it'll work better.
Bullying these poor little things out here all around, throwing friggin' rocks at them. What do you like?
I mean, I'm just saying like your Puffin might steal food less if maybe you threw a ball at it, bro.
Yeah, but he's
It's
hungry.
true.
Can't be starving him.
I'm
I'm
pretty
going to
sure-
follow the tracks that go off to the right.
Yeah, Steven's gonna say. First of all, he's gonna say, "I'm pretty sure I saw a wanted poster for Puffin when we were in town." But anyway,
Yeah, a lot of people, they want pictures, right? Me young fella has some kind of thing set up for friggin' Puffin, and it takes little videos of him all the time, and he's right popular. People comes, and I'm like, boys, leave me alone. I'm taking a nap at all hours throughout in my hours, right?
Steven is gonna say, "Hold on. Why don't we take a look ahead and see what's out there?"
Jackson's already gone.
Well, all right. I'm gonna try anyway. I'm gonna call out Norman, like Hecleon. And I'm gonna have him go scout. I'm gonna tell him to try to get ahead of Jackson and warn him if he's about to walk into something dangerous.
Okay. So you send your Kekon up ahead, and you are trying to get ahead of any potential problems.
Yeah.
Why don't you spend a token?
Okay.
And I think how that manifests is that for Steve or for Jackson, you're pushing through these woods, just following these tracks, kind of head down, very like honed in on these tracks, and then all of a sudden, out of the shadows, Kecleon kind of like as chameleons do, like shifts its coloring to where all of a sudden you can see it, and you didn't even have a sight of it there, and all of a sudden it just moves very quickly and kind of like pushes your head up and backs you up a little bit, and right as you take your head off the tracks. And it kind of pushes you back, you look up, and you see a couple of eyes all surrounding you, kind of out in the shadows in the woods. And then you all hear a wolf-like howl come through the woods.
Oh, lordy.
Was that your loon, Jackson? That thing makes some weird old noises.
What's a loon? Look,
Whatever
we gotta.
that is.
And Jackson, you can take a token because these are not friendly lichen rocks that have been introduced.
Okay.
You do have a chance to potentially react and get away before they're pouncing upon you because Norman has given you a heads up and warning before you walked right into a trap.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
So I think what happens, I was going to send out Bud, but his nature is timid. I don't think that would be helpful. So I'll have Murph out and I will basically grab him and start sprinting the other way. So he is facing the direction of the lichen rock as he runs. And I'm going to call for him to use bubble beam to kind of scatter where we are in this. So it's kind of like an attack, but also like a cloaking thing. Or you know what? Here we go. Well, I think it's called Mist. Okay, yeah. So I'll have, as I'm running, I'm going to basically use him to put up a mist using the attack Mist, more or less growling to obscure the vision around me.
Perfect. So why don't you spend a token to break away from the Lycan Rock as you use this your Pokemon, as you use Murph to try and create this mist. And so what the rest of you see is kind of, you hear this howl, you hear movement in the woods, and then you see actually some mist starting to roll in, and then ahead of that mist comes running in Jackson carrying his terrifying ducklet, and Norman alongside, just like little Kecleon, just sprinting along with them. And you still hear movement and howls in the woods, but it seems to be a little disoriented as Jackson's managed to break away. And what all are you doing now?
Those
Or
were
what are
bad
each of you doing
tracks.
now?
Maybe we should follow the other tracks.
We should follow other tracks. Those weren't of us. Those were Lycan Rock. Those were very, very scary Lycan Rock.
And as you all hear this movement in the woods, I think from the other direction, kind of like the opposite way, you hear what sounds like kind of like a cry of distress, but like a childlike voice.
Snaps his fingers and he goes, "That sounds a little bit more appropriate."
Was that your ducklet again?
No, that was probably a boy.
Oh,
I think that's the little bro.
the little
You know what I
fella.
mean?
Yeah. We should probably go. We should probably get out of here with the. We should probably go.
Yep,
let's
pitter
go.
patter.
Hit her patter. Boys, let's get
get
right
at
on
her.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the phrase. Oh, okay, yeah. Different out on the east, right?
Regional variants.
Yeah.
You all head off in the woods in the direction of this voice, and you break away. Seems like you might have lost Lycan Rocks, at least for now. And you kind of come out to a clearing where the voice has led you, like a little bit of a break in the trees. In the paths, you see kind of clear paths through the trees going in different directions. And then you all hear the same kind of cry of distress again, but each one of you hears it coming from a different direction. Do you bolt in the direction, assuming the others are heading the same direction as you? Or do
I
you
imagine
all...
I like the idea that there's a moment where we're all just like at the same time, all just like this way, and then we like start to go in different directions.
Do you all catch on, or do you get separated?
I think there is probably too long of an argument between Brosy and Steven about
yeah, definitely.
which way is left and which way is right, and it's like my left, no, like that's your left, that's my right, and like and Brosy's getting it all wrong, but he's just like, he is being difficult because that's how he's making the L's, but he's like he's got them like
right.
kind of, it's voguing somehow, like
they're both L.
And it's just like, fine, bro, and then he'll give and he'll just follow Steven.
I told you I have musician's ears. They're very sensitive.
Bro, you're probably like going deaf. Like that's
what?
like damage. Yeah, see? You didn't even hear me, bro.
Like, are Jackson and Cove going the same path as the other two, or do you split off in different directions following the sounds?
Cove, listen, these two are going to go one direction. We should probably go the other one.
I think it makes more sense to split up. Yeah. Cover more ground, right?
Oh, by the way, and he'll take out the thermos and dump some of it in Magic Hod's tank just to keep you all warm in there.
He's freezing it. Look, little ice cubes are forming in his little tank. talking.
Has Cope been dragging him the entire time?
Yeah, he's in his little wheeled cart.
Okay, you know what? Here, let's fix this first. He's gonna call out Bud, and he's gonna tie Magic Cod
Oh,
to Bud.
buddy, old pal, Cod boy, what an upgrade! Look at this. Oh, he's
mobile.
raring to go now. Look at him, and he's wiggling around. Cod.
Bro, we
So
gotta
you
get
two-
caught a like a crazy carpet or like a toboggan or something.
Oh, if we get him on a GT, we're getting back in no time. We're cruising back to Trontown. Tell you that much. This is a great
So,
idea, though, Jackson. Thanks for that.
Jackson and
We're
Cody, you head
splitting
off
up. Yeah.
together on your own.
Yep.
Perfect.
I'm gonna. Can I spend a token to do something useful and be like, now, Starly or Puffin, for once, would you just cooperate a little bit with me here now and go and fly up and see if you can take a look and squawk or something at us if you see something.
So you're sending it to scout out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it flies up and it starts to squawk from a direction, and it's vaguely in the direction you were headed, but it seems to be a different direction from where you were hearing the voice come from, like that kind of sound of distress, and it seems to be very pointedly pulling you in a different direction.
Nice. Jackson Starley's telling us, Puffin's telling us to go to this way.
I'm gonna trust Puffin on this one.
All right. Puffin's got our. Puffin, you better not friggin' let us down. I'm telling. If this is some bit to get our Pokebits, I'm gonna be friggin' rotted here today. I'm telling you. You're gonna be in timeout. He hates it.
Does he though? Does he hate it?
For Steven and Rosie, are y'all following the sound of the cries you heard as you head off in the same direction?
Yeah, you know, whatever Steven's musician ear, whatever that is, heard.
My senses are fine tuned.
So you two continue to follow this sound, and you feel like you're getting closer as you hear it getting louder and louder. And all of a sudden you kind of get into, again, it's like a clearing in the woods, except for that the trees are still growing over, so you can't really see the sky where you're at. And you see kind of, you hear all of a sudden, like you've been following these cries, and then you get here, and now all of a sudden it sounds like the cries are coming from all around you, like moving around you in multiple directions. And you see these kind of like glowing red eyes floating up and down in the shadows beyond the trees, where you're at currently.
My finely tuned senses are telling me we went the wrong way.
And
Bro.
floating. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just like one disappointed bro.
And yeah, floating out of the shadows, these eyes move forward, and what you see floating towards you is a bunch of like kind of all black, kind of shadowy ghosts with little tree trunk like heads of glowing red eyes in the center, and they are all making this kind of like childlike sounding cry as they float around each of you. And go ahead.
Question. Do we have like the equivalent of like a Pokedex or something?
If it makes sense for you too, absolutely, you can have one.
I'm just wondering if like, I mean, partly because like I kind of want to do the who's that Pokemon, but like he's like, bro, who's that Pokemon? And he's gonna, I imagine because he's training to, you know, be in the Maple League, he probably has it for like, you know, scouting. He's got to know all the different kinds of Pokemon. He's gonna pull out like his equivalent of the Pokedex and like hear the probably terrifying story that goes with this Fantub, because ghost Pokemon are absolutely terrifying in the lore.
It's the Poke Playbook.
I feel like Brosy has like gone to one of those like sketchy third-party realtors and like gotten it customized, so it's the Brokadex. bro.
It is the Brokedex. He's like, you can see he's written on it with like Sharpie.
He saw Brokedex, didn't realize it was broken, just assumed it was bro.
Yeah, that's great. So he bought it at like a pawn shop. Someone had turned
A
it
flea
in, and
market.
someone taped over, just wrote broke on it.
It's a busted Rotom that just apologizes over and over again. A
Got a little
Brotom?
hat on. Bro
Bro
Tom.
Tom.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Bro,
Why don't you spend so you could identify it as a phantom automatically, but why don't you spend a token to get the full details about
Perfect.
this phantom?
Alrighty, we will do that.
So your Pokedex tells you, of course, is a phantom, is a ghost and grass type. But more interestingly, according to old tales, these Pokemon are stumps possessed by the spirits of children who died while lost in the forest. It imitates the voice of a child to cause people to get hopelessly lost deep in the forest.
How
Bro.
convenient for this story.
Did the little bro become one of these things?
I'm gonna look at them and Steven's would be like, Alex?
They continue to float, none of them really changing their pattern. So seemingly no signs of recognition.
I don't think so.
Do they seem like, at this point at all, do they seem hostile?
They seem hostile in the sense that you definitely feel like they've been leading you here. And you realize you don't have a great sense of how to get back to exactly where you were. But they're not like forming shadow balls to launch at you or anything else. It seems to be like their method of choice seems to be working in the sense that you are lured away from your friends deeper into the forest.
I'm gonna try and reason with them. And be like, okay, little tree bros. We're looking for like a guy, it's like a little bro, he's like us, but like littler, you know what I mean? And like he came this way, like we saw his footprints, and then like he probably like, I don't know, like he's little, right? So probably like you guys before you were like you know what I mean, bro? Have you seen that, bro?
I'm going to assist by like swinging my guitar around out of its case and then playing like a Midwest emo riff in the background while Brosy talks.
Fantastic. So, I'm going to give y'all the choice of the situation, which is that do we think Brosy's please works and speaks to the lost inner child in these phantoms who sympathize with this problem, in which case you all can spend tokens to maybe get leads in the right direction, or do you gain tokens as your ploy seems to not work and agitate them and they make a more aggressive move? What do y'all think?
I can't imagine that was actually helpful.
Yeah,
Midwest emo riff though.
Yeah.
That probably made it worse.
So twinkly.
Then why don't you both take a token, and in response to your pleas, what actually happens is they start to kind of change their song. They start to shift from like this kind of faint cries of a child to like this kind of just eerie song as they start to swirl around you as they move in this pattern. And as you both look down, you see that like grass and vines and roots seem to be like growing over your like feet and legs, kind of trapping you where you stand. And then if it was like as if for some reason you had interrupted it, even though it seemingly had finished talking, your Pokedex pops up and like and continues speaking of Phantom can be known for their forest curse, which can change the type of other Pokemon to a grass type like itself, though it's rumored that this may have even more harmful effects on humans.
Okay. They didn't like that. Keep talking. I'm going to switch to playing like some ska upstrokes.
not cool, bro. And bro's just gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna spend a token and call out my far-fetched Gino to hack away at these vines with his hockey stick.
Okay. Yeah, Gino's able to like hack away and get the vines free to where you're free to move now. What are you doing after that? You're both free to move.
I think we gotta run, bro.
Yeah, I think we got to run.
Okay. So you both take off running deeper into the woods. I'd say now that you're not following the ghost tracks, it's pretty easy. I'd say just breaking the vines is enough for you to get away from them. They definitely play more with the trickery illusion side. And on that note, we'll cut back to Jackson and Cove. As y'all are following Puffin's kind of directions, you kind of, if the voice was coming from this direction, Puffin's just taking you like a little bit off a different way. And as you continue to follow its kind of calls and cries, you actually pass by a clearing on your left where you see some of these floating phantoms floating around a clearing seemingly in wait as you hear cries from that direction. But Puffin steers you around them, so you are not lured into their trap.
Why so, but he did it.
He really did.
Puffin, come down, by. Gives you a treat. Little treat for you. I'm rustling around in like this lunch bag I have. Took a couple of them poke bits there from Jim. Give us a couple extra ones, right? There you go. Now feed Puffin a little poke treat as a job well done. Like bites my finger. Bah, you're shocking, you are. That hurts. Nothing hurts as much as getting a little cut. Jesus.
I got a first aid kit.
No, but it's only this big, but that's all right.
Okay. Strapped to the side of Bud if you need it. So I think as we're walking, now that we kind of are keeping that in mind, as we go through, in the distance we see another figure out there who is bigger than us, but I think we know is distinctly probably human, and maybe somebody that Mike also sent out, and this is maybe a friendly person who's helping us look through, or who could help us. I think what we see is a large woman wearing the jersey of the Avalugs, and now this isn't obviously the coach, but this is one of the Avalugs team players with her Pokemon stick, and she probably heard first. It's huge. Like, Rosie would know immediately who this is. Jackson has no clue who this is.
Perfect. So spend a token because you're introducing someone who's friendly. And do you two head your way towards her?
Yeah, I think so. I think Cove was gonna give Jackson a little elbow and point at the jersey and be like, I can't count for taste, I guess, but we'll take help where we can get it, right?
Sure, bud. Yeah. Hey, kind of call out to.
What are you at?
Oh, yeah. You must be the others he sent out. Are you looking for the boy as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
We're looking for Alex.
Yeah.
Not just the two of you.
Oh, Jesus, spies aren't even. Spies are gone. I don't know where they went.
Oh,
Thought they were right there.
They might have fallen for the cries. You gotta be careful in these woods. The Phantom like to play some games.
Yeah, we noticed that I think we got a little bit lucky because the little Puffin here kind of helped us get around it, but they're tricky by the looks of it.
You got any ways of tracking down your friends? You might want to find them. Maybe in trouble.
You know what? We do have a way to get them back to us. And I'm going to have I'm just gonna like grab Murph and throw her into the air and get her to screech as that awful haunting noise reverberates through the forest.
Steven and Brosie, you hear a terrifying and yet familiar and slightly comforting noise coming up from a direction off in the distance in the forest.
Bro, I think that's yeah. I think we all heard that, bro. That sounded like Jackson's like little like emo duck thing. We should like maybe what if the Phantoms got them too? We gotta go save them, bro. Come on, Gino, and like Farfetch is just gonna like take off sprinting with his like wielding his hockey stick almost like an axe. Like
as they're like running through the woods towards the sound, Steven's gonna be like, actually, it would technically it's only an emo duck if it's from like the late '90s emotional hardcore scene.
Not now, bro. He says he's just running.
And you're able to follow the sound of the loon back to your friends. And as you enter the space, Steven, you see a large woman. You have no idea who it is. Rosie, you see someone you are very familiar with, a key player on the Avalogs. What is this player's name?
That is, we're gonna call her. Let's see here. Gwendolyn Berg.
Oh, Berg is great.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
so good.
she is like the star defender of the Avalogs. And Brosie is immediately like totally forgotten about the Phantops, the little boy. He immediately is like, bro, you're like a legend. Can I get your autograph?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We should find the boy, but yeah, I can sign something for you.
Yeah. You can sign Gino's stick.
You're gonna add that at Gino.
Gino's like, I don't want an Avalon player signing my stick.
Gino's on board.
Gino gets it. Gino knows what's up.
What Pokemon does Gwendolyn? What is her primary Pokemon?
Defender, right?
She's a defender, so it's got to be something kind of beefy. I'm thinking probably like a Glalie. I don't know if I said that right. Sometimes I feel like I say it wrong, but yeah, because it kind of fits. Almost looks like he's a mask in himself. Yeah, I feel like that's what she's got. Just this like big ball of defense.
That is a good like bruiser Pokemon. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I totally forgot Glalie existed.
Because Frostlass is cooler, but like
yeah, but this thing looks like a hockey mask.
Frostlass is also a Pokemon who has a terrifying Pokedex entry.
Yes.
But yeah. So yeah, she's got this Glalie that's just floating in the air next to her. And she signs Gino's hockey stick. And then kind of gestures off in the direction she was headed. Like looked like from what I could tell, the boy headed off this way. We should hurry. I'm sure you knew this, but it doesn't look like he's alone. And I think, assuming you'll follow her, as you head further in this direction, the weather starts to pick up and shifts to flurries. There starts to be snow around you.
Yeah.
Checks out.
I didn't even bring me boots. I got me friggin' rubbers on. My feet are gonna be soaked.
But like, I thought rubber boots kept your feet dry.
Yeah, but I can't tie them off, right? And then all the snow is getting down in.
Tuck them underneath your pants.
I could do that, I suppose. Yeah.
I got boots on, and I'm gonna be honest, they're not really helping. But they're like Docs.
Steven, yeah. I was gonna say Converse or something.
Those are like poser boots, bro. They're not like real boots.
Jackson's the only one out here in weather appropriate gear.
Yeah.
Rosie's 2 seconds away from ripping his shirt off. So like...
Well, we brought
I
extras
mean,
for
at
you.
this point, so is Steven.
Well, you're
Call me a
lucky. It's
poser.
a large, Steven. So if he tears your freaking shirt off, you better be happy with the large one that you're getting.
Steven's about to like get in your face and then stops for a second. He's like, wait, did you say poser or hoser?
Bro, poser.
Oh, yeah, all right, let's do this. And then like
Can I spend
I'm
it?
gonna say-
Tobias, we're not fighting. Would you frig off? Listen, there's someone missing. Get out of it. But I'm like holding them by their collars on both sides.
Mhm.
Save it for Thursday.
Yes, we'll riot. Right? Just, we'll make sure Jim gets a little weekly bonus and we'll friggin' tear the place up.
Me and you at the Timmy's on Thursday, bro.
Meet me in the parking lot
Yep.
at 4.
yeah, bro. Thursday.
Bro, don't say bro like that, bro. It's not cool when you say it.
That's our word.
As the snow gets worse and you make your way through the forest, I think you finally break into this this clearing that like we've been talking of, that you've been searching for. This big open clearing with like kind of a sloped up hill in the center, and like open skies above it. Were really kind of like the biggest kind of opening in the treetops you've seen so far. And standing in the center of this clearing is a very, very large Obama snow. And at its feet is a young boy who looks like it's probably Alex. I mean, hard to tell at that age, but looks vaguely like the dad you saw. No one really asked for a description, but how many kids are really lost in the woods? So
I'm gonna say it's on him, right? Because he didn't even freaking give us anything. He was like, "Oh, me son went off this way," and we're like, "All right, bye. I guess we'll go take a look for you." And that's all he said. Like, what is he at? I suppose he's worried, right? He's worried out of his mind, so you can't really blame him for that. That's big old
Little-
friggin'. What are we gonna do with that, guys? What's going on there?
I kind of want to jack up the premise a little bit. I think that the Obama snow hears us because we are not exactly being quiet. And this thing turns so that it is basically heaping over Alex. And it lets out a cry, and we see as it shatters and it mega evolves
Ooh.
into a mega Obama snow.
oh boy, that's a big one.
It's a very big boy.
Guys,
And
nobody
it does
told me
not-
to do that.
Look friendly, and as it takes this form, the weather shifts again, I think, into a full-on blizzard.
All right, bros. Tarps off.
Immediately hit by snow. Just like,
Yeah.
hang on. I'm ripping
You're done,
my
bro.
shirt.
Guys, I'm leaving on me coat. It's freezing out. If you think I'm taking off me friggin' jacket, you got another thing coming to you.
Magic cod is frozen solid.
It's a solid brick. Fuck, boys, cod is frozen solid. Jesus, what are we gonna do about it? Puffin, you're my only hope.
I think we're gonna have a poke battle.
Yep. I think you're right.
All right. So, if everyone wants to go to their Pokemon sheets, I'm going to make a sheet for the Obama Snow.
There is a non 0% chance that Brosy tries to punch the Obama Snow.
How big is a mega Obama snow? Because I just kind of said, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's big and scary. Also, when typing that, I actually had a typo and typed MAGA Obama Snow, which is a whole different type of strange creature.
Guys, why has he got
Equally
a
worth
hat?
fighting, though.
It's
Yeah.
8'10" or 2.7 meters and 407 pounds.
That hat looks some friggin' stupid, I'll tell you that much. What a stupid fucking hat is wearing.
Just so we each get a token though, right? Because it's harder now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, cool.
I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll take that
Take
token.
a token.
And this is how
Uh,
four 4 random Pokemon trainers died in the middle of the forest in Oblivion.
5.
100%.
5 and a boy.
Yeah.
Years later, they thaw out magic pot. Get to
It's
the bottom
fine.
of it.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's like when your science teacher freezes a goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from a challenge ranking, gotta imagine this thing, a Mega Abomasnow, is pretty freaking tough.
It's gotta be
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at its challenge. So again, for those watching, you may not be familiar with the system. Whenever we do a battle, there's a separate system for that. And the first thing you do is determine the opposing Pokemon's difficulty. And from there, that determines how many starting tokens and focus mechanic we use in the battle it has. So I would imagine this falls somewhere in the dangerous rare or deadly very rare. I think it's probably going to skew to deadly very rare based on the Mega Evolution.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this is
Which
an
is-
old Abomasnow that knows what it's doing.
That is an 8-point split, I think, which is going to end up being 4 focus and 4 tokens.
And we start with 1 focus, right?
Unless any of you upgraded your Pokemon's focus.
I did upgrade one of my Pokemon's focus.
I did not.
Nope. Me neither.
See, I've
And
been
then
making.
we're going to. Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I've been making things bad because I started off with 0 tokens.
We're all paying for your
It's-
mistakes.
It's fine. My loon's got 2 focus.
As this battle starts to get hard, friendly reminder to those in the chat: any donation gives our harrowing heroes additional tokens to survive this encounter with the Mega Abomasnow.
Oh yeah.
Let's start with determining the effectiveness scale for everyone. So we are going to figure out, based on typing, how you're starting off in this battle. So in this system, we compare the types of all the Pokemon fighting each other, and that determines how they're starting off. Typing does not have an impact on a turn-to-turn basis. It's purely where you kind of start the fight off, what positioning you start in. So what Pokemon is everyone using for this battle?
Well,
Are we allowed to use both, or do we have to choose only one?
I'm fine with you using both if you want. It's gonna, well, let's see, there's 4.
I can just use one. I was just
Yeah, let's just say 1 out for now, just to keep things moving, because all 4 of you are battling.
this thing. Okay. I'll use Goon, my Slowbro, and he is Psychic Fighting type. In this region, so I think I would have a type advantage over the Ice type Abomasnow.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we can do yours first. So it is Grass Ice, and you are Psychic Fighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fighting is going to. I have a reference table I use because there's always inevitably something I forget when trying to do this on the fly. So, yeah, you get a boost from the. Yeah, you get a boost from the fighting. So you are shifted up to effective.
Can I spend a token to go first and use my Starly to give the fighting type another boost using its because I can boost all allies by 1 on their effective scale with Starly?
Yeah, you will be able to do that.
Sick.
We'll get to initiative after we determine typing.
Oh, sorry, I
and you'll be able to
misunderstood.
do exactly that.
I thought they
but-
were going first, and I wanted to give them an even bigger bonus for Slowbro.
No worries. Yeah, we're gonna we'll go through each one, and each of you determine your typing and its typing, so your placement on the effective scale, and then we'll talk
Copy.
through how we determine initiative.
Got you.
Um,
got you.
So you're using Puffin now. That's a good
Puffin,
one to go to next.
flying and normal.
So the flying is going to be effective against the grass.
Oh yeah. correct.
And then
Nice.
the normal, I don't think is going to have any impact in this. Yeah,
Right,
so you are up to effective.
Hell yeah.
What Pokemon is Jackson using?
Oh, I'm using. I forgot that I was Jackson for a second. I'm using Murph, so it's a
Uh,
Ghost Water.
Ghost water. Ghost is not contributing in this like anything extra, and water is
It's
resisted
effective.
by grass. So you're gonna be actually resistant.
Okay.
And then lastly, what Pokemon is Steven using?
Sending out Don Valley and fighting normal. So I think I'm effective.
Yes, fighting gives you effective against the ice. Normal doesn't matter, so yes. And then I'm going to ask y'all to repeat those typings again as I cycle through for the Abomasnow. So there's one water. Bug, dragon, fire. There is a flying though, right?
Yep.
Just one though, right?
I think
So
so.
that's a wash. No grass, poison, or steel. So all right, so it's at neutral from its grass type. Its ice type gains an advantage from the flying. But a resistant from the water. So actually, I think you all break even. So it is at a neutral.
That's good.
What about the two fighting?
So how the typing for the effective scale works is your typing is based on your ability to either be effective or resistant, and then for its ability to be effective or resistant against you.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
ice is weak to fighting, but does not have any type relation to
Yeah.
fighting from an offensive perspective. So
Right.
that's why it
That
boosted
makes
you
sense.
but didn't affect it. So yeah, we're good there. So yes, the next stage is initiative. So how initiative works is there's basically 3 tiers of initiative. There's the first round, like early, the mid, and the kind of back. And how that works is you spend a token to go in like the earlier round. You can do nothing to go in the middle round, or you can gain a token by opting to go in the final round.
I'll spend my token to get Starly in the top of initiative, or at least
Yeah, the first set of
the
rounds.
first bracket. Yeah.
We also
spend
just
one
had a
token.
donation.
Oh, perfect.
Hey.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that gives everyone
you.
one more token.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
What? Yeah, go ahead. What are you?
I mean, I have a slow bro. It sounds fitting that I could go and back cleanup and go at the end.
Okay, so you are going to take the token to go last.
Yep.
Okay, and then that just leaves Jackson and Steven. Which category are your Pokemon going in?
I'll go in the middle.
Middle.
I'm thinking towards the end as well because I want to do like an inadvertent Bash Bros thing with Don Valley and Boone.
Oh no, is this the end of our rival arc?
It's over so
Listen,
quick.
just because our Pokemon get along.
I feel like Slowbro and Muscular are probably got this like Goku and Vegeta thing going on for like their frenemies.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, Cove, you are up first in the first round because you are the only person in that tier. So what are you doing for your turn? You're gonna have your Puffin boost.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to Puffin is going to like fly around its face, just being a general nuisance like it likes to do, but that gives because of its role as a booster, it gives all allies their effective scale +1.
Yep. So everyone can shift their effective scale up 1 stage as Puffin boosts all of you by distracting the Abomasnow. Also, of note, because I don't think we talked about this in our initial discussion, and also this is just good to mention for everyone else. So everyone gets 1 action they can do on their turn, with one exception, which is that the Abomasnow, because it is a single Pokemon fighting a group, gets additional actions equal to its current focus. So right now it has 4 focus, so it can do 5 actions on its turn. As you force it to burn that focus to either attack because it's, down tokens or to prevent damage, that will reduce the number of actions it can do. So as you do more damage or basically reduce its energy, it will be able to do less actions. But that does mean on this first turn, it has the flexibility of doing up to 5 actions when it comes to its turn. It did opt to go in the final round, for the record. So it will be in that last wave. But and next up, we have Jackson.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Murph also take to the air, and using a round, like a chorus, mimicking almost like the Phantoms, have that echoing loon sound go around this thing. And I'm using a leer, but as a sabotage. That is that's what Murph is. Murph is a sabotage Pokemon.
Specialist. Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, so again, I realize I want to keep adding context for people who are watching. So a growl move is any sort of move that would inhibit your foe or would boost an ally. Leer is boosting allies or reducing the foe's defense. So the growl earlier. Sorry, wait. You were a
I'm
boost
growling.
specialist for
Sorry.
Puffin.
Boost, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so,
yeah, you're growling. Okay, yeah, sorry. So the Puffin boosted through a Leer, which boosted their allies or weakened the opponent's defense, and the growl from the sabotage from the Loon can sabotage opponents. So those are just moves that people can do in the game. And then specialties are ways you can be better at those things. So the Puffin was better at boosting their allies. The Murph is better at sabotaging their opponents. In this case, meaning that instead of normally when you did a growl, it would drop their effectiveness scale by 1. This drops it by 2, which in this game means that it costs more tokens for them to be able to attack. So now the Abomasnow would have to spend a significant amount of attack tokens to be able to attack the others. And now we are into the final round. So both Steven, Brosy, and the Abomasnow are all in the last round. So tiebreakers go to the person who has the least tokens gets to go first. So how many tokens do Steven and Brosy have?
I have 4 now.
We got 4, right? At the when the sort of at the beginning of initiative.
No, we all got an additional one because of that.
Oh, the additional one. Okay, sorry. I thought we got. Oh, the Abomasnow got 4. My bad.
Abomasnow got 4.
I thought we got 4.
You probably have the leaf, Rosie.
Yeah, I got 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are gonna go first, then and then Steven, and then the Abomasnow is actually up to 5 because it had 4 and then opted to go last, so it will go true last.
Okay. So I'm gonna all offense, no defense. Let's go. Drop the gloves. And of course, Slowbro's not going to drop the gloves. But he's gonna go and just start wailing on this Slowbro with let's say he has a mega punch or something.
Perfect. So yeah, he just runs up with his gloves and starts to mega punch the Abomasnow. What effectiveness are you at? Are you at super effective?
I think I'm at super effective now because the Puffin gave me a +1, right?
Yeah. So in this case, every scale above neutral on the effective scale, you do an additional harm for the 1 token it costs to attack. So you're spending 1 token, and this would inflict 3 harm, which 3 harm is enough to take someone from healthy to fainted. So the Abomasnow is absolutely having to burn a focus as it brings up a coating of ice over itself that cracks under your hits, but it doesn't actually take the harm. But it does lose 1 focus, which means going into its turn, it is going to have 1 less action.
Keep going, bro.
And now we go to Steven.
Yeah, Steven's gonna in the same spirit. Steven's gonna be like, all right, wall of death, here we go. And Don Valley Muscular is going to charge, just sprint full speed at the Abomasnow Probably, I'm thinking like from the sort of the like almost taking a almost curving, like to hit the Abomasnow while it's paying attention to Goon.
Mhm.
And yeah, his like as he's going, Muscular's arms just like start swinging, and then it's like a full on windmill by the time he actually reaches the Abomasnow.
A windmill defense.
And this is going to be an attack as
fully-
well?
Yes,
Okay. And are
absolutely.
you super effective as well?
I am also at super effective.
Shit. Yeah, y'all's between the starting typing to this and the Voosh, y'all are in a pretty good place. Though I promise, we'll get to this in a second, but I promise I picked the role specialty of this Abomasnow before we started this fight, and I realized how boosted y'all would be.
Uh-oh.
But yes, it's going to have to, again, a layer of ice coats this thing on its side as you slam the slamming and spinning fist hit it, and it has to burn yet another focus to stop from dropping. And now we're to the Abomasnow's turn, and it has gone from its initial 5 actions down to only 3, of which 2 of those are going to be, you see this thing just start to roar kind of in your face, and the snow just picks up further and further as you just like, it becomes almost hard to see more than like a foot or 2 in front of your face to see what's going on in the battle. And it is a sabotage specialist. So you all, it's going to spend 2 actions to drop you all back down 2 stages on the effective scale. So most of you are back to neutral if you were at super effective. If you were lower than that, then you drop 2 stages. And then with
Rude
its
as
last... I picked it because its whole thing is it's supposed to introduce hail whenever it enters a battle, but also ended up being very appropriate for this particular fight. And then I think its last action is just going to be, as it continues to roar, there starts to be actually it's just going to straight up ice punch. I think it's going to just turn and swing an ice punch back at Muscular, who's the last person to try and hit it, and is going to spend, unfortunately, 3 tokens to inflict 1 harm. Unless you're going to burn a focus to shrug it off.
I mean, for 1 harm, I think Muscular can handle that.
Okay, so yeah, the ice punch slams into Muscular, but it's able to take the hit and only drop down to weakened. And we are back at the top of the order, which means we're back to Puffin and Cove.
Cove just yells out, "Puffin, by your some Geesler, keep at it, boy, keep at it." And he'll Puffin will do the same thing again and boost everyone by 1 effective scale.
So everybody's just back up to effective, and
Except
Puffin
for me.
continues to just irritate the ever-living shit out of this Mega Abomasnow.
Puffin's at neutral, just in case that matters for anything.
I'm at
else.
resistant now, so.
And now we'll move to Jackson.
I'll look to Murph and notice that she's not in a good spot. And so I'm going to call out, Murph, clear your head, and use a defog to bring herself up to neutral.
Okay. So yeah, she's able to kind of shake herself off, clear her head, and get back in the game, so to speak. And Steven, Rosie, what are your tokens at currently?
1.
3, but I forgot to mark 1. 3, but I forgot to mark them after I attacked.
So then it goes, in this case, it'll actually go Rosie and then the Abomasnow. Since it had to burn 3 tokens to attack, it has now jumped down to 2 tokens. So Rosie, you're up, and then the Abomasnow will go.
I think, yeah, Goon's just gonna, Goon, hit him with the hook and throw in another punch and just kind of keep wailing on him.
You are back up to, you're
I'm
up to
effective now.
Okay.
So 2 harm unless it defends
Yeah.
itself.
I think this one lands. It doesn't get the ice up in time, and you are able to just slam it across the face with a mega punch, and it kind of stumbles back. But it does look angry, and it is going to. What's that move?
I feel like it always looked angry. It's not a happy looking guy.
So it roars, and you actually see the grass, the leaves and vines start to grow out from it into the ground, kind of almost locking it in place, but also seeming to be drawing energy from the ground. And it seems to be growing in strength, so it is going to shift itself, spend 2 turns growing to go up to neutral, and then use its last action to spend 1 token. And you see it the vines start to pull up through the ground, and then all of a sudden the vines are lifting up a tree, like a tree trunk, and it's going to use wood hammer as a tree trunk slams down onto Goon for 1 harm, unless you want to use a focus to try and negate that.
Nah, we can take it.
Okay, so yeah, Goon takes 1 harm as it gets slammed by this tree and becomes weakened as well. And then it is Steven's turn.
Not cool, bro.
Steven is gonna call out and be like, Donnie, and then he's gonna when Muscular looks back at him, he's gonna put a slash across his neck, and he's gonna be like, get him out of here. And like he has occasionally had to do at shows when people got particularly rowdy, Don Valley is gonna grab the Abomasnow and seismic toss it. So I'm gonna spend a token and do 2 harm.
Okay. It is going to have to burn a focus to negate that. And so I think you go to slam it, and then the vines that it's run into the ground, pull it back down. And so you're just wrestling around, but Muscular can't get the full separation from the ground to then slam it back down. And it is down to 1 focus and critical health. And we're back around to the top with Cove.
Right. I
Please let Puffin take this thing.
Puffin just pulls up. Puffin has a criminal record. It just pulls out a knife and flies up to stab the Abomasnow to finish it off.
It picked up an icicle when it made its ice armor. No, I don't think.
It's like that crow in BC that keeps on stealing evidence.
I think Cove knows how big of a deal this would be for Brosy to take it out. So instead of choosing everyone, Puffin is going to choose Slowbro for a +2 effective scale, which probably max you out, I would imagine.
Yeah, and then some.
Super duper effective.
Super duper effective.
Perfect.
When
so
you go
boosted him
beyond
up.
super effective, is that when you get your Z move / whatever the giant
Slowbro has
thing is
gone
called?
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, you've reached Ultra Instinct.
He's got this mane of yellow hair.
It's gone beyond raging, and it's now become eerily calm as it starts to slide around Abomasnow's attacks.
Goon has gone Goon.
The Puffin flies out and grabs onto the back of it, and it's slightly hovering over the snow.
It is Jackson's turn.
So Jackson is going to get, as the echoing has still been going through from the last call, he's going to yell to Murph to use an echoed voice. And so what happens is the loon call almost reverses and snaps back, echoing back and hitting the Abomasnow with a wave of sound. And Jackson is having Murph attack.
Perfect. and Abomasnow has to burn his last focus to try and shrug off this as it like puts its hands over its ears, trying to shrug off this like piercing, eerie, echoing sound focused in on it. And it is at 1 token. What are Steven and Brozy at?
0.
You gotta rest.
2.
So Brozy, you are up. You get to go first, but you are out of tokens. 1 hit would take this thing out. With that being said, the benefit of the system, there are still levers you could pull to potentially gain that token. You could introduce a weather complication that you will have to deal with the moment this battle ends, but would give you a token now. Or potentially describe, an interesting moment in the space that might earn you a token. Or if any conveniently timed donations were to come in, any of those options might give you that that singular token needed to bring it home.
Gosh, okay. I'm trying to. I'm like looking here, trying to figure out how do I get a token. Okay, I don't know if this because I'm assuming at some point Gwendolyn, like, is she still with us?
She's probably got the kid out of the way.
Yeah, actually, she's got the kid off to the side, and the kid is safe. Like, she's got him wrapped up and warmed up, and he's actually starting to come to. And then after that, she's just been watching and like nodding, and like observing all of your like battling, and like just jotting down occasional notes.
How helpful of her.
Got this. Maybe it's a soft edition. You don't know.
Okay, so in that case, I guess like we are.
I definitely didn't just forget an NPC. Nope, this is intentional.
No, it's fine. I figured like I was because we're in flurries already, right? So
it is a full on.
No, we're in Blizzard now.
Okay, we have nowhere to go up.
Yeah, the other option on the weather table is that beyond pushing it out, which we're already at max, is introducing a weather complication. So that's what I was saying. You could introduce a problem from the blizzard that you're going to have to solve the moment this battle ends. You cannot just take the cop out of making the weather worse. We're past that point.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay.
Can I think of something that might help?
Can I say like that the sort of like when the Abomasnow rooted itself, like that caused other environmental like roots and stuff kind of to pop out of the ground and maybe sort of, I mean, this is getting very specific at this point, but the roots almost like went around Gwendolyn and Alex to kind of like trap them in there. Would that get me anything?
So basically they are in danger from like
the roots have caused like there's now these just massive roots that have come up from the ground, creating a even more difficult terrain because not only is it now a blizzard, there's just like giant roots all over the place that are potentially stabby looking.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do a token for that as they're, I think in addition to that being unsteady, there are trees around them as they are unable to move from these roots that are also starting to look unstable and unsteady, putting them in a pretty dire situation. But that will give you the 1 token you need. How does your goon finish this battle off?
All right, so kind of seeing all of this happen, he's just gonna be like, bro, we don't have time for this. Finish it. And you're just like, Goon is just going to, we're going to sit with Huffin, kind of helping him out, is going to sort of lift him up. And Goon is just going to deliver just like this uppercut to just absolutely like block this Abomasnow and hopefully take it out.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, maybe it's even throwing some punch of its own, and he just kind of ducks, and then does the lifted up uppercut as the Abomasnow gets knocked down. D Mega evolves back into a regular Abomasnow, and while it's still blizzard, the intensity that was clearly spiked by the Mega Abomasnow starts to fade a little bit, which gives you all the ability to look to the side and see Alex and Gwendolyn in danger as the trees are swaying over them and they have no place to move from the roots. And what are you all doing to stop this from happening?
Can Cove spend a token and cast his rod as a line to help pull them out, reeling them?
Yes, absolutely. You spend a token and you are able to fish them out of the... Let's say because this was introduced to give a token in a climactic battle, this is a more serious problem. You are able to fish Alex out of the roots.
You're on your
Is
own,
someone
there,
else
missus.
going to help Gwendolyn? Alex is fished out and safe.
He's just on the end of the rod.
Yeah, hanging from the fishing line.
I got you, buddy.
I can't narratively think of a way that I would. You know what? I have one idea. How does capturing work again, Marco?
So capturing is usually when a Pokemon has been reduced to at least critical or even weakened but has no focus left. You can elect to capture it. What are you trying to capture? The Abomasnow?
The Abomasnow, yeah.
They're capturing Gwendolyn.
You can absolutely
I thought
spend a
that
token
too.
to capture the Abomasnow,
It won't be
but
Mega,
it will
but,
still
like-
be fainted.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'd still want to do that because I like Abomasnow. And I think what he'll do. He's going to have Bud charge, kind of barreling down, and the idea is that he's going to have him kind of flip her over on to the now very cold and frozen Magicod and add her to his toboggan of goodies.
All right, so you can spend. Do you have 2 tokens?
I do have 2 tokens. Yeah.
So you can spend a token to both catch the Abomasnow and send Bud running in to pull Gwendolyn out of the way before the trees collapse where she was. And everybody's safe.
Lands with a hard thump, staring down at a frozen fish, looking at her.
He'll be all right. Don't worry about him.
And
It froze, like puckered, like with lips all like.
Winking.
the blizzard continues to thin out and go back to flurries. And then as you're all kind of like getting your bearings and start to kind of get settled after the battle, you feel a light from above. And as you look up, you can see the aurora start to fill the sky overhead. And out of the trees around you, a whole bunch of Amoras, these tiny, well, not tiny, but certainly they're only about 4 feet tall. These small, like kind of brontosaurus style, like dinosaurs, icy dinosaur Pokemon start to wander out of the trees into this clearing. And you all, none of you have recognized this Pokemon. To know these were still around, but there seems to actually be quite a good amount of them, and they all enter this clearing and look up at this aurora overhead, and they all start to glow, and you see them glow and grow, and then they grow into these large, nearly 9 feet tall brontosaurus-like Pokemon with these like almost frills that glow with the same color as the auroras. And each of them turns into this kind of thing and stares up at the aurora before they then all start to move on into the forest. And you can hear Alex just going, wow, standing next to Cove as he watches this happen and looks up at the aurora he wanted to see so
He's still
badly.
on the rod.
Yeah, he's still hanging there, just wow.
Rosie's trying to figure out why the Brokedex won't work on these Pokemon.
Jackson is like shocked because he's been out here before, but he's never encountered like a more, let alone seen them evolve. So he's writing it down in what's essentially like like his own field journal
Mhm.
that he can send back to the other, both park rangers and Pokemon rangers, so that they have an update on this population and know that it is not extinct.
And how is everyone else reacting to this kind of event?
I think Steven will be like standing next to Jackson and will be like, so is this like a good sign or a bad sign?
Well, the Aurora sky thing is a natural phenomenon where we have some ideas on how it works, but Pokemon World, lots of Pokemon around. It could be a number of things. He kind of like uses his pencil. He points into the forest and he goes, "They were thought to be extinct around here a long time ago. So for me, it's a good thing, like a very good thing. But to others, this something they could manipulate, make a profit off of. So it's best that, as beautiful as it is, we try not to spread the word too quickly until sanctions can be put in place."
I just can't believe dinosaurs are real. You see that? They just walked out, long necks, right? I thought they died a million years ago. Big old rock.
What's a dinosaur?
I read about it somewhere.
Just adding flame to my theory.
I had all kinds of books at home about it.
We've been able to revive these ones from fossils before, but
What?
being in the wild like this, it's not.
How do you even do that? With but you put bones in what? Microwave? No,
I've seen it. It's like a machine.
it's wild.
They don't come back quite as that, but
Yeah, you gotta use some polyworld DNA to balance it out.
Geez, I forgot you were here. Sorry.
Roshi's just like standing beside Alex and being like, "Whoa, little bro,
Still
this
on the
is
rod.
pretty sweet."
Hanging at head level with Rosie.
You should put that child down. Probably.
He's having a time. Look, I can reel him in, reel him down.
Rosie like fist pumps him and like doesn't realize why Alex is the same height.
on another note, guys, my Abomiso's name is Douglas.
Good
Very
name.
good.
Douglas Fur.
Douglas Fur.
Ferda. Douglas Ferda. Douglas Ferda. We got
Douglas
there.
Ferda.
Douglas Ferda.
Yeah, I think she suggests that you all probably be getting this boy back home to his dad.
I can make
Yeah,
a
we
little.
should.
Listen, since my little magic cod here is on the back of Bud there, we're
He's
going.
on ice.
Alex, if you want, you can hop in the cart. It's like a little sled for you. You'll slide all the way back home.
The
No time.
wheels don't do great in the snow.
I've got little skates for him. I can give me 10 minutes. I'll have at her. Little sled.
And as y'all are walking back through the forest, she does invite all of you, though, of course, Brody seems the most applicable, but invites all of you to, after seeing you battle, visit the gym. And always looking for good players on the Avalugs. You all seem pretty capable.
Bro, this is my shot. I can't bro. Yeah, Rosie's beside himself. Like he's just like he says bro probably about 300 times. There's like no one really understands. He's just off in his own, he's in his head. He's already picturing himself holding up like the cup. Like,
I imagine that's all you say on the way back, but each bro means something very different. Like
Exactly. It's like
"Bro," then you point and like bro.
yeah, it's like bro. Bro.
And you all make your way back through the forest pretty unsettled. She seems to know how to make her way through it with less issues. And as you make your way back into Toronto, you all are heading into town, and all of a sudden you hear this like loud, strange, like almost honking noise. It's like vaguely reminiscent of like Murph, but like on just this whole other level. Like it feels like everything in you and the ground is shaking. And then all of a sudden you look towards Tim's tower, and the tower collapses as this giant goose covered in this like odd, almost looks like some sort of slime or some other substance like coating its entire body, bursts out of this tower, shrieking this like horrible earth-shattering honk, and then just proceeds to storm through the town, headed away from the now destroyed tower. And on that note, I think that is where we will call an end to the night.
Jesus.
Murph?
That's not good.
Murph? I was thinking, I think we were all thinking, Murph?
Jesus, Murphy.
Murph.
Jesus, Murphy. I like the idea that that's part of Murphy's personality, is just that she feels like she's always getting blamed for everything, because that's what you say whenever things go wrong.
She's got a complex.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you all for joining us. This is session 1 of what will be a 3-session game as we figure out what on earth is going on with the return of Gigander and what it was doing in Tim's Tower, as well as some of the other secrets of the Kando region. Why don't we go around one more time, and if everyone wants to just say where people can find you in between the next game and now, and then we'll kind of let people know our schedule coming up for this channel, and then head out from there. And we'll keep the same rotation. So, Kev, why don't you go ahead?
Sure. So again, I am Kev. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at MagicalGirlKev. I'm actually, and I sort of had this idea while we were playing. I'm going to be making my return to streaming soon, and I think I'm going to be doing a Brosy-inspired run of some Pokemon game. So,
Yes.
look forward to that.
Yes. The Pokemon
Fantastic.
League.
In character and everything.
Pokemon League.
The Bro Game. Oh my, yes. You just named it. You named it for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I stole that from somebody. I think that was Justin.
Will, you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, I forgot I was second. Hi, yes, hi, hello, my name is Will. I'm one of the GMs and the organizers here at Live from the Apocalypse. If you're not already following us, please do so. We are live 3 times a week at this point. We have a podcast that's very good. You can find it on all the podcast platforms at Live from the Apocalypse. You can find us on Twitter at Live from the APOC, and then Instagram and TikTok at Live from the Apocalypse. There's lots of stuff out there if you want to find it. And I'll talk about the schedule after everybody's done.
Perfect. And then Justin?
Hell yeah. You can check out No Fame Pod at No Fame Pod is all of our social media. If you want to see what we're up to, I'm streaming tomorrow morning in a few hours, a good few hours, but for our coffee stream, we do usually 2 to 3 mornings a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you want to stop by, we're making dice tomorrow. I'm going to make some dice on stream. 10 a.m. Eastern time is usually the time of our coffee stream. If you want to come, it's usually, I'm not going to say it's chill, it's fucking chaos. It used to be chill, and now it's out of control. It's pure chaos. There's no containing it. But
That
it's
gander
It
would
gave
be
us the
proud.
ability to fight each other.
Gander
It
would
gave
be
us the
proud.
ability to fight each other.
I did cause all the chaos. But yeah, at No Fame Pod, or come hang out tomorrow or Friday, or maybe even Saturday. We'll see how much energy I have by the time we reach Saturday. But yeah, that's me.
And then
And
Zach.
yeah, I'm Zach. You can find me on Twitter at Schedule for Launch, where you can come and discover some really cool indie games like Pokemon Tales and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to be doing some other things coming up in the near future. Hopefully, going to be able to announce those by the last episode of Pokemon Tales, but we're working on some kinks and hopefully have something really cool and spooky in store for Canadian listeners.
Cool. And then I'm
Hell
Marshall.
yeah.
I've been obviously the GM of this game. Outside of this, I also, if you like seeing me and Will do Pokemon themed content, as Will talks about the schedule, there is another game where we both play Pokemon trainers in that as well. Also, if you like the sound of this game and want to get to know how it works, I just dropped the itch link in the chat. I am Iron Echo Games on Twitter, and on itch it's iron-echo-games.itch.io. For my games in general, specifically for Pokemon Tales, you just add a /Pokemon Tales. It is free, so if you thought it was remotely interesting, you might as well download it because you can poke through it and see if you like it. And on that page is also linked, actually, the discussion I had with Zach about it, where we kind of dig into the details a little bit more. Might give you a better perspective on how some of the rules work than the flow of a stream. Yeah, it was a very fun conversation. But yeah, that's me, and I will let Will do the scheduling stuff because he knows that better than I do.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be actually quiet for the rest of the week. Probably Sunday we will be back with Veil Breakers, which is one of our 5e games. Next week is this is our Pokemon week now, I guess, and next week is our D&D week. So Sunday we've got Veil Breakers, Tuesday we've got Class Reunion, and Wednesday we've got the Mercy of Time. So come through, check all those out if you want to. Sunday we will also be, I guess, announcing the next charity that we're going to be benefiting. So hashtag RIP Tusky. If you know, you know. Pour one out. So that's what we're doing next week. After that, back to our non D&D week or our Pokemon week at this point. We have Academy Age on Sunday live recording session. You can find all that on the podcast apps, as we mentioned. Missing Numbers, our Eldritch Horror sports anime Pokemon game on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'll be back with another episode of the Maple League. We will see you right back here 2 weeks from now for more Maple League. If you want to keep up with us and know what we're up to, or just be our friend, you can follow us on Twitter. You can join the Discord community, which is a great place full of lots of great people. We do a lot of fun things in there. We have community movie nights, community game nights. Sometimes people source players for games from there. We are, just a good place with a lot of great folks. If you're looking for a community, feel free to join that. With all that being said, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we are going to disappear for just a second, and then we are going to hop in and raid our friends at Altered Echo Archives. They are currently streaming Curse of Strahd Into the Fog. So hop in, say hi, tell them we sent you, and we'll see you next time. Say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Night,
everybody.
Bye.
Everybody.